Previously on the Fellguard, our heroes were split up, divided. Oliver, still reeling from the realization that Eltorin Harlow had hurt Pepper, was while looking for Oliver's money, was on the warpath. He traveled up to the Fellguard looking to arm up and ran into our newly appointed leader, Kashar Andros. Kashar promoted Oliver to the role of champion, allowing him to check out weapons freely, and accompanied him to the mob leader's home. Once there, the battle turned into a bloodbath, as Oliver and Kashar fought the thugs, and at the end of the fight, Oliver had Harlow on his knees, quite literally begging for his life, and Kashar whispered to Oliver, "He can't be allowed to live. Finish it." Oliver then killed the mob boss just as the rest of the party arrived, and to their horror, they also saw the rest of Kashar's fight, the remains of the mobsters on the lower floors torn to shreds. To shreds, you say. The group was shocked to see this, and Kashar told them that he would protect them from any punishment, saying that he'd make a contract for this and say that the contract was completed. He left for the Fellguard, and Oliver dealt with the aftermath of his promotion. Voxy, of course, was furious that he was promoted and not her. The group went to their respective homes, Xerus to his uncle's, to get a valuable lesson in honesty. And Voxy and Pepper went back to Callan's, where Callan revealed that Pepper's mom had reached out recently and made lunch plans for the very next day. Oliver went back to Kashar, wanting to turn down his promotion and to give up the champion status that he just got. Kashar refused, telling him that he had plans and that Oliver wasn't the only one being promoted. Very next day, Pepper met up with their mom, Marina, an acting Air Genasi from the Fraternal Order of the Wandering Muse. She revealed that the reason she was so absent from Pepper's life wasn't out of selfishness, but in fact, it was out of shame and guilt. And the two reintroduced themselves and promised to be closer to each other in the future. It was then that the group was brought into the Fellguard by Kashar, and they were all promoted to the rank of champion in a lackluster and rushed ceremony. They also spoke with Sarah, learning that she had been forced to quit by Kashar and had decided to leave the Fellguard. They were given their first mission as champion to travel to the Arcane Alliance Guild headquarters in Basincrest, and to track down more information about the children of Orcus, how they were able to get spells, and who was helping them. And our heroes reluctantly took the mission and were just about to be sent out. So, where to begin? You all have your mission. You know that you need to head towards Basincrest. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time for you to get there, approximately 4 days worth of travel time by cart. As champions, you are absolutely able to get any materials that you need in order to go. Is there anything that you all need to collect before you go?
I'm squared away.
I was about to say Oliver would know what we'd need.
I mean, as champion, do I get to keep the armor that I got in the last session, or do I have to give it back?
No, you can keep it. You can. I mean, if you want to use it for this mission, it's yours to use.
Right on. Yeah, I think in that case, I'm just gonna go through and just make sure we have enough calories of rations for the trip.
Sure. Okay.
And I'm gonna be a little spendy, I'm gonna take advantage of my status and get us some cushions for the benches.
Okay, so actually as champions, you aren't sort of resigned to using the carts that you would normally rent. In fact, you have a carriage that you travel around in. This is bougie. You get to basically be inside. You've got a nice place to lay down. You also have a driver who drives for you.
God damn.
Oh my god. Why are you giving us so many good things, Jordan? I don't like it. I don't trust you. Who's our driver?
So if you were to travel down to the stables where they keep the horses and everything, you're able to meet your driver. It is a person. You look down and you see a man who is not too terribly tall. He's a halfling. He's got sandy blonde hair, and his name is Marcin. And he says, "And where would you like to go? Are you taking the cart out now, or do I need to bring it around and meet you up front?" It's talking to you, Pat.
You ready to go?
I mean, if you guys are, I am.
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
All right, I can load up the cart for you if you just want to wait here just 5 seconds. He goes and you watch as he starts loading bag after bag and some weapons, and you see a big, huge thing of rations, and he starts putting them into the cart. And as he goes, you are just sort of getting a strange look at the amount of stuff that Oliver has brought with you. A bunch of different styles of weaponry, a bunch of bags with any sort of option of like clothing that's like imaginable here. He has like over prepared in this sort of like really laid out in this amount of luxury that he has.
No, he Oliver prepared. I don't think there's an over prepared.
Well, be careful with that. It's a very expensive hunting trap.
Oh, my mistake. He goes and you see as he gingerly places it in the back of the cart. What does the hunting trap look like?
Oh, I don't know. I was doing a bit. It's a bear trap.
Fair enough.
Put that on my grave.
I don't know. It's a bit, damn it.
cut that audio and we'll use that as an audio. Devin, get on that.
Marcin grabs the bear trap and gingerly places it into the cart, and without setting it off. You watch as he climbs up into the front, he opens the door for you as you climb into the carriage itself. He gets up on top, grabs the reins, and you have a coach of about 4 horses that are pulling this like almost like extended luxury carriage.
Jesus.
And as you start moving through Dawnspire, seeing all these like white buildings and the terracotta rooftops with the spire sort of disappearing behind you, heading out towards the front, you can see that the town itself is bustling. There's a lot of people out on the streets moving about, going past the markets. And as you head down from tier 3 to 2 to 1, you pass by the market where you all just had your run-in with Eltor and Harlow. Oliver, you look out the window just in time to see that there are a bunch of guards who are basically have the door open and they are all standing in front of it, and you can see as a couple people are going in wearing large like leather aprons that are covered in gore.
Yikes.
Yikes indeed.
I'm gonna just like sink down in the seat just a little bit, and I don't know, there's nothing to tie me to that.
Right.
Well, I think a little bit of time away from the city will do us good. All of our greatest bonding adventures happened while we were on the open road. Remember that time you got picked up by a dragon?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Oh yeah, you got picked up by a dragon, Voxy.
It was a
I
wyvern, but...
remember that. Yeah, it was a wyvern actually, guys. Yeah, that was a good time. I think I was
Doesn't
stuck in
make for as fun of a story, Voxy.
No,
Foxy, never undersell yourself.
you're right.
Yeah, I put it as dragon on your resume. You'll
That's
never know.
That's right. Yes, and I was stuck in a tree for a while. I think after that. I don't know.
By
I
the
blacked
time we
out.
got to you, we were all friends again.
Oh yeah.
It's right.
Oh yeah, I died. Remember?
No.
Sometimes I forget.
We don't.
That's not how time travel works.
Marcus told me.
Okay,
True.
fair.
I did witness that. I still think about
Burned
that.
into
And
my
you
vision.
saved,
Burned into
and
my
you
vision.
saved my life because we are friends, and you cared for me, and I moved to get him into a hug.
I'm just gonna be like, I accept this, but
Nope, you said it. You started it. You have to commit.
Once we get out of the city, I think, is there a way for me to like safely ride on top and keep watch?
If you'd like, basically, if you wanted to climb up top, Marcin pulls the cart to a stop, and you get out, climb up the ladder on the side. A lot of your bags that couldn't fit inside the cart itself are stacked on top and tied down. You're able to sit up top there if you'd like.
Yeah. Well, is there a passenger seat where Marcin's driving?
There is, if you really want to sit next to him.
I mean, I just want to take first watch.
Okay. He looks up at you and gives you like a polite and affirmative nod, and then goes back to the cart, whips the reins, and the horses start moving forward. At this point, you have exited the city, passing down past the Mill Hill and heading south. Or southeast. Following the path, you know that if you the quickest way to get to Basincrest is going down through Trade Town, passing through Glint Harbor, and then up towards Basincrest itself. As you are traveling down, heading towards basically the midpoint of the entirety of the Dueling Serpents, you are seeing a bunch of like low-lying like plains, right? There's some small pockets of forest that are here and there, but the route to Trade Town is very, very much an open space. As you look out, you can still see the massive like holes in the ground where the elemental had the massive combination elemental had walked through Trade Town, heading up towards Dawnspire. You can see a large section of a hill that had been destroyed by its footsteps going through it. Xeris, Pepper, and Voxy inside the cart. What's going on in here? What are we up to?
Well, we should maybe talk about how we want to handle this once we get there.
Should we be planning without Oliver?
I mean, there's planning without all of them. We can just let him in on what we're talking about. We're not keeping a secret from him or anything.
It's true. He just loves to plan so much.
It's true.
I'll get to Oliver. I open the door and stick my head out and yell for Oliver.
Oh, are we strategizing?
Yeah.
Marcin, if you'll excuse me. And I just without letting him stop, I just get up and start clambering along the side of the carriage to get inside.
I can hold on, and he pulls back on the reins as the horses come to a stop. And you're hanging on to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh gosh, what have I done to myself? That is a 9.
Okay, you're fine. As you hang on to the sides of this ladder that leads up to the top of the carriage, he pulls it to a stop and jumps down, quickly runs over and opens the door for you.
Apologies, I didn't mean to.
No, it's my fault. I should have known that you were going to stop and get down. I apologize.
You're a very nice person.
I try my best.
Okay.
Great response, sir. And he closes the door and he climbs back up onto the front and whips the reins. The carriage starts moving again, and you can see in the distance now. You've been traveling for about an hour, 2 hours, and just in the far distance of the horizon, you can see Trade Town approaching. Inside the cart, however, strategy is happening.
All right. So, if I may recall exactly what our mission is here for everybody.
You may.
Jordan, will you recall what our mission is here for everybody?
Yes. God, I wish I could do that in real life. Just say, I've got it. What do I do? Your mission was to track down some more pockets of the Children of Orcus. So it seems like the Children of Orcus, their spells that they used during the attack on the Fellguard during the funeral, the spell scrolls would have had to come from someplace. Making those is a very costly and expensive process, and doing it, it's hard to do just by yourself as a mage, right? So if they were using these higher end spells, they had to come from somewhere, and what better place than the main area of magic, this like sort of mecca of magic in the Dueling Serpents Basincrest. If you need a spell scroll or a mage or someone to do something, you would hire them from Basincrest. So it stands to reason that they may have sourced their stuff from this city.
So,
Okay.
what we do know is Children of Orcus completely worthless. I think we established that from our previous mission. What do we know about the Arcane Alliance? Anything?
That guy, Lucian Fierro, that Kashar said, I believe that he was expecting us. Yes?
Yes, Lucian Firo is expecting you in Basincrest. He's already sent ahead he sent a letter ahead notifying him that you were going to be arriving.
So that seems like a good place to start. I don't know if he's actually going to be like useful or helpful, but
I got the impression that he wants us to basically interrogate the Arcane Alliance and find out, like, potentially who's behind this, which just makes me just a little uncomfortable, considering I don't know if we have no idea if they in fact are behind this at all.
Jordan, by chance, when the attack happened, were there any Children of Orcus that were defeated prior to blowing off all their scrolls? Like, do we have any evidence?
No, it seemed like a lot of them fired off the scrolls and then combat started.
Okay. So
you-
we're going in
I will say also,
blind.
before earlier when you had spoken to Calland, Pepper, asking for more information about the spell scrolls, he also said that Basincrest seemed like the natural place to source these materials.
for sure, yeah. I wanted to go to Basincrest, but not because Kashar told me to.
Not because New Dad told me to. I don't like that.
I don't like New Dad.
What else do we know?
Is there anything that Voxy would know?
It's me, Margaret.
About these things based on living in this area?
So,
Anything particular?
what is it that you're searching for here? What's a question I can answer?
Any information? Would Voxy have any information based on living there with the champions in such close quarters for the last 5 years? Would she know anything based on living there that the others might not know about the Arcane Alliance?
So, I mean, probably not too much. You know that a lot of the Arcane Alliance are very uppity. Mages hold themselves in very high regard, especially wizards. They have to be like they value their knowledge and their intelligence so highly that you know that they basically look down on common folk a lot. Hiring a mage for a lot of these problems that you would have at the Fellguard was almost always a sort of like last ditch effort. You're more likely to hire somebody from the band of the Shattered Helms, the Paladins, than you were to hire an Arcane Alliance member. That being said, if there's magical issues in the world, Arcane Alliance is the first one you call on. They are uppity, but they are good at what they do, unfortunately. You also know that their guild does not have a single leader. It's actually run by like almost a coalition, almost like a board of directors in a way, where they all have kind of equal power and equal say with the decisions that are made, and it's a group of them have to vote for a decision to be made.
So this organization is kind of structured like an American corporate structure.
Yeah, very much so.
It always comes back to capital.
It always does.
It's like hyper capitalist magical folks. Okay. Would I know anything about like the big names? Like in the organization? Like anybody that's like, oh, I know who this person is from their reputation.
So, give me a history check.
Okay. Hey, that's a nat 20.
Hey, there you go. I think that there are some members that you are not privy to. Think of them as almost like they stay out of the public eye a lot, but there are members of the board of directors who are more well known for their feats, right? There's Helnice, who is one of the she is a half orc who is been part of the Mages Guild for a long time. She recently became a member because she was very, very well known for her battle magic. There's also a person named Nelsor, who is a human wizard, who is very well known because he's almost like a playboy style of like I think like Iron Man style of like playboy billionaire philanthropist vibes, right? He's rich, he gets around, and he can do good magic. He does a lot of stuff for the board of directors, and he is one of the main like figureheads of the guild. Still doesn't have more power than anyone else, but when he speaks, people listen.
Okay. So a thought comes into my head as we discuss these people that we are going to be dealing with soon. I have a concern that I might be a little bit of a hindrance to the effort if they discover that I have any kind of inclination with magic, because we obviously know that they are going to do magic a lot better than I can, and that it sounds like their opinion of people that don't do magic, much less people that do magic poorly, that just might set us back a few steps. So I'm gonna keep the magic to close to the chest on this one, I think.
You don't do magic badly. You just rarely do it.
Oh, I appreciate that. I was simply talking through the lens of the viewpoint of the people we'll be dealing with.
So, do we think they'll like me?
Everyone likes you, Pepper.
That's true. That was a trick question.
I'll play the muscle.
Yo.
Just as I like look up at all of you.
Okay.
I mean,
Creating characters for ourselves.
are we role playing?
I pull a bag of dice out of my pocket.
You guys ever heard of this game?
We're gonna play mansions and mortgages.
I mean, if I have to, I can try maybe to, like, instead of coming at it from an angle of like, I'm also a magic user, respects me, I can be like, oh, I am but such a humble little magic user that could never be as cool and as smart and powerful as you guys who read books. So maybe that can be my
As long as you don't sound so sarcastic, I think it'll do well.
It didn't sound sarcastic.
It was the comment about the books that kind of.
Okay. I'll leave
would
the
be
books
a
out
little
of
bit.
it.
Would be a good opportunity to get them talking for sure, which would leave openings for us to analyze their speech or for Xeris to rob them if they have anything of value, not of value financially, but of value to the investigation, of course. We can
Or
do that for
both.
champions. Yeah. What? Huh?
What?
Well,
Did you say some?
You are champions. You are well known. I will also say that.
Yeah.
So we can't just go. I can't go around robbing people anymore. Darn.
Can you imagine if, like, You're working at a college and Steve Buscemi comes in and just takes your
Just-
pens.
I mean, no one will ever believe you.
That is true. That is true.
So
We're hiding
I
in plain
suppose-
sight.
I suppose our first step is to find a short list of possible places these scrolls could have come from, and then work to narrow that list down.
We could disguise ourselves and pretend like we're looking for them so that somebody, then we get pointed in the right direction so they don't think that we're going to question them. We just look like we're going to purchase them.
I think they know we're coming, so I think that's.
Maybe like once
guess
we
you're
get close though, like if we find like there's like a point person that we need to talk to, like I can like disguise me or someone else's like children of a child.
Mhm.
Child is the sacred word. A child of Orcus or something,
And you
I
do
could
know
give
that
myself a little tattoo.
the point person that you are looking for is also Lucian Fyro, so he's supposed to meet you at in the next couple of days when you arrive.
Sure. I meant like if we found a point person that
Sure.
like would
of
be
the
named
children. Gotcha.
scheme. Yeah.
As you continue chatting, you see that Trade Town is getting closer and closer in the distance. The sun is beginning to set, with the amount of time that you've traveled, probably about 6 hours or so of just riding. Your backs are starting to get a little sore. You get up a little bit in the cart and stretch. And at this point, you watch as Marcin brings the cart a bit slower as he approaches Trade Town proper. Trade Town is, even in the evening, always bustling. You see a lot of people moving about. You see a lot of shops that are still active, a lot of marketplaces. And you can also see that it has mostly been almost completely rebuilt in the 5 years since you've seen it last. As you are walking through it, you can see that there is, yes, thank you, Chewbacca, it is bussin'. As you walk through, you can see the large pathway that the elemental had cleared through this town before has been like mostly rebuilt by well-worked hands, we will say. This is a beautiful, beautiful setting. Everything you see almost looks like it's all made of wood. And as you approach and get closer, moving through the streets are filled with people who are all trying to hawk wares and sell things. Every single item that you could wish to find, you can find on these streets. It's almost like you kind of have to choose which one you want to pay less for. As you see a lot of people moving about, there's people who are calling out to you, offering to sell you a potion. There's people who are trying to sell weapons, and you see that there are people who are out trying to sell all sorts of things and items here. As you are looking out and about in this town, what's going through your head, Xeris?
I guess, I don't know. Part of me thinks that, I guess not necessarily that we're walking into a trap, but at the same time, we might, like, there's ulterior motives to us going on this mission. I mean, we obviously have like an idea of what we could investigate, and we can kind of go through this. But we also, I don't know. I think there's something else going on, and I guess I'm kind of worried that we're leaving, but at the same time, like, let's get in, get out, and get back as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. You spend a good bit of time looking out the window, watching as the merchants and the tradesmen go past. In the distance, you can see there is a port that is connected. Trade Town has a port on either side of it. It being in the center, there is a one that is almost connected to the bay that comes in. That's right past Mistport and past the Maw. And you can also see that there is a large lake to your west. When you get closer, you can see that there's a bunch of ships that are over on the Mistport side. a lot of ships that are being loaded up with goods and materials, boxes, large cranes that are loading heavy crates onto it. A lot of people shouting and pointing in certain directions. You can see that there are dogs that are roaming the street looking for a quick snacks from some of the vendors. There are families who are on the streets begging for food and money, and there's also a bunch of people who are wandering about enjoying a lot of the festivities here in Trade Town. The cart comes to a stop over by a large building. It's just an inn. Pepper, what's the name of this inn?
Kombucha aficionado. Those are not two things. That is not a thing that is right in front of me, and then the first word off the top of my head. That is not what that was. That was a very real, very off-the-dome.
You see, there is a large mug of a foamy drink on the sign, and in beautiful cursive script, you see kombucha aficionado written on it. When you see the sign and see the town around you, Pepper, what's going through your head?
It's really weird that inn's named that.
It's a strange name.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm feeling a little nostalgic for being in a kind of bigger city area, like with Talon.
Yeah.
Missing that a little bit. Didn't tell him I was leaving town. Feeling a
Yeah.
little bad about that. Hoping he's all right. Don't be a big boy, but I am a little worried about him in general.
Mhm.
Always.
You step out of the cart and head into the inn as Marcin grabs the bags and says, we already have a couple rooms booked for you. If you'd like to go upstairs and get settled, I'll grab your bags. We're going to be staying here for the night. And then bright and early, I'll come fetch you, we'll get breakfast, and then we'll head out. If you wanted to grab some dinner, now's the time to do it. Just put it on the Fellguard's tab, and we'll get you all paid out whenever everything's done, all right? And he goes, and you see as he grabs his stuff, and he hands you 4 keys.
Is anyone else just weirdly uncomfortable about him doing all this stuff for us? Because I just...
Yeah.
This is
It
strange.
is a little weird.
I don't remember Sarah ever mentioning getting this pampered. It feels weird.
Yo, maybe she was like used to it.
Yeah, I guess so. Which is weird.
It's weird. I just got the ick.
Voxy,
Oh,
you step
no.
inside the kombucha aficionado, and when you step inside, you get a view of this inn. It's a very, very well kept inn, but it almost feels like this is part of like a chain of inns. Like this is a it looks very familiar. It's very recognizable. There's not too many people who are moving about in here. But the bar and the restaurant area is pretty empty. Did you guys want to go and grab your stuff, or did you want to and go put your stuff down, or did you want to go to the bar and restaurant area first?
Isn't Marcin taking her stuff?
Yeah, he's absolutely moving your stuff. So quick to... I thought Marcin
Wow.
was doing that. I'm not touching my thing.
I'm not looking at anything.
Can I try something?
Yeah.
I've never done the spell before. In this game, and I haven't done it in a long time. So
Okay.
Don't
it
burn
makes
down
the
the
spell
inn.
work.
Don't burn
I'm
it
not
down.
going to. I'm not. Stop it. I want to. I just want to see. I want to cast Detect Thoughts on Marcin. Now, I don't want to like do the thing where you push too far and then they're like, "Hey, wait a minute. I know you're doing something." Just like surface level on this guy.
Okay.
To see what's going on there.
Let me just look over the spell real fast. So if you're just doing surface level thoughts, it's going to still be a... Let's see.
I don't know. It's a really long.
Yeah, okay, so if you want to probe deeper, you're going to have to make a wisdom saving throw, but just casting it to read his surface level thoughts, you can certainly do that. So you, what does this spell look like when you cast it?
Well, I'd like to do it subtly, so I'm gonna hide behind Oliver, the big one, and oh, sorry, Voxy. And I will hide behind Oliver and Voxy equally, and I will just kind of
With me standing off to the side.
like kind of like pull the little like light thing that like usually comes from within me that's like a spell thing, and just kind of pull it and then like flick it in Marson's direction.
You watch as he grabs a bag and takes it off of the cart, and it thwaps him in the back of the head, and you instantly get like a strange arcane sound that's like a whirring sound, and then you hear an echoed and almost distorted voice come from him, and the first thing that you think is, oh god, why did he back so much? Oh damn, okay. All right, I'm gonna put it down. And he puts it down, and then you see him stretch a little and goes, oh, Marson, you gotta work out more, bud. Oh. And he shakes his hands and grabs the bag again and lifts it up and walks it in, almost like waddling.
I would like to... How long does this last?
It lasts for up to a minute.
Up to a minute. Okay, so I'm going to hurry over to Marson and be like, and just help him with whatever bag he's got in that moment.
Okay.
And just, oh, Marson, oh, I'm sorry. I got this. Don't worry about it. That one, that's mine. I packed it really heavy. I'm sorry.
No, it is no problem at all. I can get it. It's my job. It's my responsibility to make sure that you are taken care of.
You are so nice. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for about 3 years now.
3 years. Cool. So
you see like a couple like thoughts enter your brain, a voice that says, at least they're not as annoying as Krausyash. But keep an eye on this one. They keep wanting to grab your bag back.
I will I'll let him be, and I'll go, okay, well then, you have a good night too, Marson.
Oh,
bye.
Thank you. I appreciate it. He grabs the bag and goes upstairs. Voxy, down in the lobby of this like inn chain, go and you sit down at one of the tables, looking around. What's going through your head?
I think I'm very relieved to have the moment to relax. Everything has been very kind of go for the last few days. Yeah. So having a moment to kind of breathe without the stress of all of the impending champion stuff, because I feel like the last time we even rested was after finding out that Oliver was knighted, basically championed.
Yeah. So basically last night.
So yeah, was that just last night? Good God. A lot has happened in the last 24 hours.
Y'all have been champions for 6 hours.
That is wild. So much happened. So I would like to take this moment to like try and relax, try and gather myself and like really rest before getting going again. But I also am sharing my group mates' unease as well, but I'm trying to push that back. Mm-hmm. And Pepper, would you have shared that information of like, I didn't get anything from him? Or would you have shared
like
that?
Quietly. Yeah, I don't think Pepper was trying to be subtle around guys at all.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would be resting easier with that information. I'm glad that we did that because there wasn't an immediate threat realized there.
Mm-hmm. Pepper, do you join Voxy at the table?
Yeah.
Xeris, Oliver, do you do the same? All right.
Absolutely.
You go and you sit down, and a shuffling of feet and a voice speaks out from behind you. And you turn and you see Xeris, Foxy, and Oliver. You see a young man who's got some freckles across his face. His hair is pulled back in with a bandana, and he's holding like a little tiny pad with some charcoal. And he says, "Hi, welcome to the the kombucha aficionado. What can I get you?" Pepper, you look up, and you see Roby.
I tackle this man. I am hugging him so hard.
He sees you and goes, "Oh, God."
No, Robbie, it's me. It's Pepper.
Pepper? I don't think I ever really learned your name.
Well, no, but I'm very recognizable, Robbie.
Oh, well, it's great to see you again.
So good to see you, and look at you. You are employed.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're doing great.
This is day one for me, so I'm trying to keep it on the DL. But what can I get you?
Pepper, who is this?
Oh, you guys, this is a newly made old friend.
Okay.
Like a homunculus?
Oh. Oh. We'll
How about I get y'all around waters, and then I'll come back and we can chat. How's that sound?
That's
That
great,
sounds
Roby.
great.
He writes down water 4 times on his pad and then wanders off.
Like water,
Yes.
water.
Remember when we the last trip we went on? I met Roby on that trip. We hung out in a little igloo.
Oh.
So
I thought you were going to say it was one of the Virgalafians.
No, but I thought we were being subtle right now. Why would we just say these things? No, probably not. I don't know. I don't know what Roby's life was like.
wait, I thought everyone died. Did he get out?
Oh, remember when I was crying and he was running away and you guys were like, "Oh, we can try to get him," and I said, "No, there he goes, run free, my boy."
Oh, I thought you were talking about the rabbit that was running outside. That was a.
Oh, no, I didn't see the rabbit. But to be fair, I probably would have reacted the exact same way.
Yeah.
So now we finished the job?
No! I went through all the effort of saving him. I helped him realize that what he was doing was silly. He wasn't really confident about it anyway. To be honest, he didn't know anything at all. So I think, if you guys want to go for round 2 on asking questions to Roby, you guys have fun with that, okay? Because I did that one already, and it was not awesome. So
Roby,
Yeah.
he's harmless.
he arrives back with a tray with 4 very full waters on it. 3 very full waters on it. As one of them spills down, he goes, "Ah, damn it. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I can't cuss here." He puts down the tray and he grabs the cup and he tries to scoop water off the floor and then goes, "I'll be right back." And he goes back behind the bar and pours more water into the cup and then comes back and puts it down, spilling a bit again as he puts it down and goes,
The visual of scooping water off the floor.
He looks at you and says, "So what brings y'all to Trade Town?"
We're just passing through.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for visiting such a beautiful and stunning establishment, such as the Kombucha Aficionado. Have you tried some of our kombucha on tap? And he gestures over, and he is pointing at a list. There's 3 taps over there.
Do you
Do you have
any,
anything that's not
recommendations?
kombucha?
We have water.
Okay. All right. You know what, Robbie? I'll take whatever is your favorite.
In fact, just make that 4. Just do 4 of whatever your favorite is, Roby.
I haven't tried them yet, but
Why don't you?
I'm supposed to try them, but I'm a little nervous. I don't really know what kombucha is.
Me neither.
Why
Why
does
don't
this
you
not
go
surprise
try them? And you go try all 4 of them, and by the time you get back, you'll have an idea of which one you like, and then we'll just take 4 of that one. How about that?
Oh, okay. I'll do that. I think my boss will let me just try
We're
all
gonna get
4.
him fired.
You see as he goes back behind the bar and grabs a glass, it pours a full glass of one.
Should we have told him not to combine all 4, or you think he knows just to try them all?
No,
individually?
he's gonna chug that. Watch.
You watch back behind the bar as he chugs the full glass of kombucha and then stops and goes and then pours another full glass of the second tap and then chug before stopping like at the 3/4 mark and keeps chugging the rest of it.
Are we gonna
The
get him
belch-
fired?
He
The belch
definitely
that's gonna
burps
come out of
pretty
that
loud.
guy. Oh,
You see as the bartender shoos him away and goes, you hear, what the hell are you doing? As he he comes back and he goes, second one's pretty good.
Well,
now
I'll
you
have that.
something that you can recommend.
Yeah, we'll have four of those, please.
Those aren't made for chugging.
Hey,
And
we'll
he-
sit.
He leaves and comes back with 4 glasses of the second tap of the kombucha. Hey Oliver, what's the name of this kombucha?
It's called Larry Cherry.
Gotcha. Named after the famous hero
Larry.
David Larry. So he pours 4 glasses and brings them back over, 4 mugs of this kombucha and puts them down and says, "Now, can I get y'all anything to eat or
What
just
do
like
you like?
Oh God."
Stop it, everyone. Pick out your own order. Stop the rest of it.
I'm trying to do a good job,
I
man.
mean,
This is the most fun our crew has had in years.
I kind of want to see him like chug the food now.
You see him look
know?
at the menu and he's just like going, well, they have a shepherd's pie that's real. I've heard it's good. I can't eat the whole thing, I think, but they have
It's all gas, no breaks.
they have like a
After
slab of
kombucha,
mutton
it's all
that you can get.
gas.
It really hurts. There's so much of it in me right now. It's like my stomach's getting bigger and I don't like this.
Can I cast
Don't
lesser
flip that.
restoration on this man?
Oh,
Can I
God.
heal him?
What?
Can I cast lesser restoration and try to heal him? Whatever. Is going on inside
Yeah.
his body right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
So I think the condition here is too full.
Yeah.
You
for
cast
sure.
this spell and you watch as he like, oh, thank you, Pepper. I appreciate that. Oh,
Well,
sorry, I'm
but-
just trying to do a good job here, trying to make sure that y'all get the best service imaginable. I am not used to working in an establishment, a fine dining establishment such as this. He gestures to the empty dining room. I want to remind you.
Oh, wait, so it's totally empty.
Yeah.
So when you get off, Roby, could we ask you a couple of questions about your time with the Children of Orcus?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Gesture to the empty dining room.
You see as the bartender is like sitting there at the bar just looking at you 4. And Roby looks over and goes,
Thank you.
yeah, I think that'll be fine. I'll be off in another couple hours, but if you want, I can meet you in the lobby and we can chat. There's not much to talk about. It wasn't a very good club. A lot of rude folk. I just was trying to get out there a bit, you know, make some new friends, and wasn't good. Not a fun vibe.
Oh no.
Oliver, I think Pepper established
I
that
fucking
conversation
told you.
is not gonna go. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'll tell you
There's
what,
gotta be
we
some
can
sort
meet
of
in the
nugget of
lobby
wisdom.
and we can like do a little walk around outside in town, and you can stretch your legs a little bit. I can show you Trade Town. I've seen 4 things so far.
Amazing. I would love to hang out with you, Roby.
Of course.
Me too.
He
Am
says,
I obligated to join?
I don't know why you wouldn't.
is there any food that y'all are getting, or is the kombucha enough?
How? You know what?
Do you have like a appetizer sampler or something?
Yeah, I think I can get some like jalapeno poppers or something for you. Give me a second. You watch as he walks back behind the bar, and you see him mouth, and the bartender goes,
Is he gonna walk back and forth every time one of us order?
Roby returns and says, turns out they don't have jalapeno poppers here. But I'll see if I can rustle y'all up some grub. Give me 5. He goes and disappears into the kitchen.
Oh, the return of this character.
Oh.
Let's all love him so that's who Jordan kills.
I love him genuinely.
In-game Pepper, I just want to say thank you for bringing this person into our lives.
You're welcome. You
That
see
man is a
now
trip.
why I immediately both lost brain cells from that conversation, but
Yes.
also my heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Oh, is it we should take you to a doctor.
Oh,
Oliver.
If anything, this just proves that the children of Orcus probably were not behind the attack.
Yeah, he pointed
So-
at like the leader of like his little group, but he stressed that nobody knew anything. At least, you know, from his perspective. He said they got a letter in the mail.
The next
Well,
like
that's fine.
the next couple of hours or so of you sitting there chatting absentmindedly, catching up where you can. Every single time you take a couple sips from your water, Roby brings a full new glass of water. He also has brought out a bunch of food for stuff in a bunch of little tiny plates, and he keeps handing out the plates and basically stacking them on top of each other. I want to stress this, he's not good at his job as a waiter. And every single time
But
he
he's
goes back,
trying.
the bartender is like basically laying into him. After these few hours of y'all just sitting there eating, talking, you head up to your rooms to just sort of like drop off whatever stuff you're carrying with you, and you head back downstairs and you see Roby in the lobby. He's got his apron up over his shoulder, and he is just standing in the middle of the lobby looking around kind of absent-mindedly. When he sees you, he sort of like lights up and wanders over and says, all right, so just a quick little walk around Trade Town, and we can chat about my fun club that I was part of. I'm saying fun with heavy quotations. Wink.
You don't have to say wink. You can just wink.
Oh, sorry. Wink. No, I did it backwards. Sorry. He goes out the door into the street and says, and that over there, the mean lady who works at that shop will not let me back into the bookstore because I was scared of some of the drawings that were in there. He points over at a shipyard where he says, they've got a large section of ships over there. They don't let you on them, no matter how much you want to see them. And as you're walking, he turns to you, Oliver, and says, so what you want to know about them children of Orcus?
So Pepper tells us that your correspondence with this benefactor was through the mail, yes?
Like was he a he? Sorry, you said a bunch of words that I'm confused. What?
You got your instructions in writing.
Yeah. No, he would send letters and stuff.
Were these letters delivered via the standard postal
I say he,
system
but
or
I
the
actually
courier?
don't know. So it could be anyone.
How progressive of you.
I've been trying. Happy Pride.
Oh, thanks, Roby.
Oh shit.
No, but we would get letters that would detail in it, like it would have a lot of words in it that would tell you what you had to do, and where to go. It would have money, and it would tell you who to talk to, and it basically break down the whole plan for you. Super helpful. A lot easier than coming up with them dang things yourself. I mean, shoot, it's tough to come up with a big plan that involves a lot of things going right to work, right? We tried it for a good while. It was hard enough to get a duck to sacrifice, let alone a bunch of people. Them ducks are fast. They fly.
And how did you go about doing that?
We would hide in the reeds until a duck came close, and then first person to jump out and
Not
try
the
to
duck,
grab.
sweetheart.
The scrolls that you used in the most recent attack.
Yeah.
Did you also receive those in the mail?
Yeah, they were sent to us. They were.
Was there
What?
Was it the standard postal service or was it a courier? Was
It came in a
delivered
letter.
by a mail person?
Again, Oliver, I don't want to assume.
Was it the same person that usually brings you things like magazines and bills? Or was it a different person?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it came in the mail. It arrived with a letter. It had a box. It had all the stuff and the scrolls that were all wrapped up, and it was supposed to be doled out to certain folks in the group. Then we had to read it, and when we were done reading it, we would die. But also kill a bunch of other people with it too. So like, win-win.
And you were okay with the possibility of reading this scroll and dying?
Yeah. No, it was part of the instructions.
Oh gosh.
What did they tell you would happen?
Oh, when we die, we would be resurrected by Orcus and join his undead army to take over the world.
Sure. Totally. Makes sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So, like, really, what's the thing that's stopping you, right? Death is not that big of a problem if you're just going to be resurrected and brought back into the world.
Uh-huh.
It is a bit of an inconvenience.
I guess. Maybe for you. You died before?
Why did you?
Yes,
No,
Oh,
you
fun.
don't
So you get
remember
it.
it.
I did. Xeris told me.
Very fun.
Did they offer anything to get you to do this besides just telling you that you would be resurrected by Orcus?
No, that's pretty much it.
That's all you wanted? You didn't need any kind of reward or
Well, they
anything?
said that, you know, if they were, when we were resurrected, that meant that we'd get to hang out with Orcus and his undead army of demon spawn. I just thought it'd be nice to have, you know, a group of friends that you can hang out with forever.
I have good news for you, Roby.
No.
You have a group of friends right here who will hang out with you for the rest of the night until we have to leave in the morning.
Well,
Okay.
You know, actually, now that I think about it, Marson could use an extra set of hands lifting things on and off the carriage.
You're so
Marson?
right.
Does he
Start
want to die too? Because
driver.
I've done that
I'm your
once, and I
new
don't want to
boss
do
if
that
you
again.
want it.
So, hey, okay, Roby, I have an idea.
All right.
Let's do a game where you never mention to anyone else how you worked for the Children of Orcus or about Orcus or anything like that. It can be like a fun secret between all of us friends.
Okay. What do I win?
You get to work for Marson.
I got
You
a
get to
job,
not
though.
work at the kombucha aficionado anymore.
But they
You can
they
work
said
for
that I've
us.
been doing and I quote just fine.
But
Oh.
you
They
get
said
to
a
work
lot of
with
room
more
for
persons.
improvement.
Would you rather work with us?
Y'all seem pretty nice, but why were you up by the dragon in the first place? If you don't mind me prying.
Oh, to slaughter every one of you before you harm the dragon.
That makes
So
sense. That makes
and I'm
sense.
gonna,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Oh,
I was just gonna clear my throat and then
No,
Yeah.
honesty is the best policy. That's exactly what we are going to do, Roby.
All right. This is the fountain, by the way, where I throw in a little piece of copper every morning. And you see that it is a statue. The statue is of 4 figures. You see a tiefling, you see a genasi, you see a half elf, and you see a human.
Oh, Roby, do you know who those people are?
Nope. There's a little tiny
And
plaque.
can we all be standing in the exact
Yeah, we
same
get in the
order?
exact pose.
Roby looks at you. He looks at the statues. He looks at the plaque of the statues that says commemorates the day the heroes fought and defeated an ancient evil. Looks at you. Looks at the statues. He goes, "Them friends of yours?"
Yes,
Oliver.
would you like to meet them?
Kinda.
Oliver, your statue has a faint line of paint that has been scrubbed off but still remains, and you see the words liar.
Yeah, that tracks.
Roby looks up at it and goes, "So you knew them or something?
something like that.
Must be cool to know famous
Would you like
folk."
to work for them?
Well, ain't they dead? They got a statue of themselves. That probably means they dead, right?
Roby,
Yeah.
I'm about to blow your mind. You can make statues of people that are alive.
Shut up. No, you can't.
Those people did something so awesome. They made a statue while they were still alive.
Oh, shoot. That's crazy. What'd they do?
I'm just gonna go. You see that one?
Yeah.
That person is named Pepper Feist.
That's funny. That's the same name you've got.
Exactly the
Uh-huh.
same.
That person is named Voxy Rain.
I didn't learn anybody else's names.
That's my name.
Oh, shoot. Y'all's the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got there.
Yeah.
He got there.
That's why you were
everybody.
trying to kill the cult, because y'all's is heroes. Okay. Things are
Yes.
clicking now. That makes sense.
20 minutes later, he figured it out.
So now that you know that we're famous,
Yeah.
you want to come? You want to come on an adventure with us?
I think I do.
Oliver,
Does
no.
it pay well?
Actually,
know.
Only a paycheck.
probably.
All right. 1 second. You see as he walks back and he opens the door to the kombucha place and he throws his apron and he goes, "I'm done. Keep your stinky water to yourself." And he comes walking back and says, "So, where are we going?"
Oh.
Going to Basincrest tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
we're gonna try and find out a little bit more about these scrolls that you had.
Do you think that if you saw a collection of different scrolls, you would be able to say, that one looks the same?
Well, most paper looks identical until you open it up to see what's written on it.
If you saw what was written,
you've ever had.
if you saw what was written on the paper, would you be able to say, "Oh, that's the same one that I used"?
Well, I didn't see the papers though.
Is it
The scrolls were
shaky?
held out to some of the other folks in the cult. I was part of the dragon team. My job was to travel up north, go to the cold, and then fight, and then kill, and then resurrect a dragon, which we did not do.
That's pretty close, though.
Did they give you any scrolls to fight the dragon with?
Nah, no, we didn't get any. We stopped getting the letters after the stuff that was done happening over in Dawnspire. We kind of had to come up with our own plan once we got over to the dragon. Our main goal was to try to sacrifice a couple of the other cult members and see if the dragon dug that. Usually our go-to is just off a person.
So the letter stopped coming once the first attack in Dawnspire happened, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Weird.
Wait, are you telling us the dragon was your idea? You're the remaining members? That wasn't part of the instructions?
Well, it was implied by the instructions that we should go up and fight the dragon ourselves, but it left it kind of up to us to come up with a plan.
Okay. Surprisingly enough, I have a question, even though I don't think I'm gonna like the answer.
Yeah.
If you were to succeed with the dragon, did you have further instructions?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Other than using the dragon to join up with Orcus, and then laying waste to the more material plane.
Gotcha. Okay.
Roby, would you mind walking several feet and not listening to us?
Sure. And he just walks. You see as he plugs his ears and starts singing.
You guys think he is so charming and lovable, yes?
Oliver, we cannot take this guy with us. He's cannon fodder at this point.
More importantly, he doesn't seem to understand that not talking about the children of Orcus is a good thing. If we take him into Basincrest and he starts talking, it's going to draw the attention of the people we're looking for.
Touche, Oliver.
Wait, so we're just setting him up to get killed?
I did say
Doesn't seem to
cannon fodder.
mind.
That is fair.
Oh.
I
apologize for sending him away prematurely, but a thought has popped into my head. Is there a possibility that whoever sent them knew that they weren't going to succeed and was using them as a distraction to get us away from Dawnspire?
I mean, I feel like we already
Knowing
kind of made that conclusion.
knowing the
why.
competency levels of the children, I would have to guess that was a very safe bet for somebody to make.
Then what happened while we were gone?
Or they sent him off just to off all of them so that there was no one left alive that knew what happened with the attack.
Yeah. Truth be told, I think I like that possibility a lot better.
But
Means that
but they did make the decision of the new leader of the Fellguard very fast in the time that we left and came back.
Of course, if that was the case, then why not send the champions? Getting them out of the way would surely be the better option than just the four of us.
No, but the champions were kind of the ones who sent us off. I mean, like, Sarah and the other one whose name I always forget. He's less important than Sarah in my brain. Grausiar, that one. They kind of were the ones that were like, oh, we should stick here and you guys should go.
It's fair.
Yeah.
There were only 4 jumpers. Maybe they would have come with us if there was a possibility that more people could have come. 5. There was that other guy. You know.
I think I just thought of one more piece that we don't have yet, and it might not be an important piece, but Roby, come back, please.
He has his ears plugged. He can't hear you.
You watch as he walks and gets clipped by a cart going past. It sort of spins a little bit and looks over at the cart and then looks and catches your attention, Oliver, and walks over to you with his hand still in his ear and goes, "Y'all need me back?"
Just gonna.
That was good.
Roby, there's one more thing that I was wondering about.
Yeah, shoot.
Do you know anything about the part of the attack where you replaced the wait staff? Sorry, the people that gave out food. You guys killed all of them and pretended to be them.
Yeah.
Were you part of that at all?
I was not part of that Strack team, as we called it. But I did know that we had a job to basically go in, intercept the team as they were getting ready to move in, and kill them, take their clothes, and then move into the hall pretty quick. As soon as basically they was hired, we were supposed to intercept them on their way to the keep.
And did you have a point of contact? Excuse me. Did you have a boss, or did that group have a boss of who was going to
My boss
be in
was
charge
Sigmund.
there?
This is mean.
Was
Am
who?
I allowed to cuss? Can I cuss in front of famous people?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Gotcha. He was some sick fuck. I didn't like him.
What was his name?
Sigmund. We used to joke. We
Okay.
called him Sickmund.
Did he
Good.
get killed by the
Clever.
dragon, or is he somewhere else?
Oh, well, there was the avalanche, and then the dragon came. I made it just out by hiding underneath some felled trees, as the dragon basically laid waste to the mountainside.
But Sigmund was also there.
Oh yeah, no, he got. All of them got actually.
So that was your boss
yeah,
on the dragon thing.
yeah.
Do you know who the boss was for the food people job?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay. That's okay. You're doing all right, honey.
Thank you. I think I'm pretty good at this job. I'll be honest, I don't really know what I do, but you keep complimenting me, so I'll keep taking it.
You're doing it. I don't know. Anybody else got anything for him?
I'm just enjoying whatever is happening right now.
And we're staying at Kombucha Aficionado, is that right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Roby, will you please meet us outside of Kombucha Aficionado at 6:30 tomorrow morning?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where
Roby,
do you
where
live?
are you staying right now?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they had me at Kombucha Aficionado because I worked there. Oh, no. Don't suppose I can stay with
I'm
one of
gonna
y'all?
whisper to the others. Can we?
Yeah,
Not it.
Cirrus will be
No.
happy to have you in his
Serious?
room for
Absolutely
tonight.
not. No.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Over.
why?
You want top
Why,
bunk or
Pepper?
bottom? It's one bed, but I'd like to joke around a little bit. It's kind of like, you know, I was
You can
really
have
hoping
the
that you and I can
floor.
have like a back and forth, like a little bit of a banter sesh.
Don't count on it.
Aw, Zarius, just like you.
You don't know me.
Classic Zarius.
Oh,
Real stick in the mud.
I need you
You're
to
not
just
wrong.
sleep on the floor and don't talk to me. Can you
Copy
do
that, Captain, boss man. Sir.
I'm not sure. No. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna shake my head at Pepper.
Approximately what time is it right now?
It's probably about 9-10 p.m., like around there.
All right. I think we should go hit the hay and reconvene unless there's anything else we need to do tonight.
Oh, Roby, there is one very important part of this job.
Okay, I'm ready.
Xeris
Yep.
is your boss.
Understood.
In order to have and keep this job, you must do everything that Xeris tells you.
Understood. He turns to Xeris and gives a salute.
Oliver, I thought we were like finally. Why do you hate me?
I lean in and I say, look, out of the three of us, out of the the four of us, I think the three of us are the least likely to do something that would be good for the mission, but not necessarily good for Roby. I think you're the one that's going to be able to pull that crossbow trigger.
You mean kill him? What?
No, I'm saying, Roby,
What
stop listening.
Okay. You see as he walks off into the street again, as he starts whistling a tune.
Look, at the end of the day, he is an attempted terrorist.
Yes.
And I think, out of everyone in the group, if there ever comes a moment where doing the right thing for our mission involves him getting hurt, you're going to be the one most able to make that call.
Are we hearing this?
Yeah.
Are we
Come
hearing
on,
this?
like you're going to let
What?
the cultist walk to his death.
No, I mean, well, no, I'm
I
wondering if are we listening?
I think that
I mean, I
Voxy and
assume
Pepper
we're all
are part of the
standing.
conversation.
I assume we're all standing here.
Look,
Okay.
all
I mean,
I'm saying
that is fair. I
You,
agree.
you look over at
I
Roby,
think
who
we have a
is...
powerful.
Roby has his hands in his fingers in his ear, and he is stepping in a puddle on the street and making splashes.
You're right. I can't kill that guy. I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm trying real hard not to kill him right now. I'm gonna be honest, but
I think
I get what you're
Oliver
saying.
is right. This is
I
why you're
Oliver-
the man for the job.
Also, you know, there might come a time where you very quickly need a distraction, and now you've got one ready to go.
Well, also, I just is
I mean, I'm distracted and we're not even doing anything. So I agree.
Oliver, you keep talking about like the mission, like we sacrifice him for it. The mission, like what? I mean, like, is the mission more important than like, you know, the gentle life of a very beautiful soul? I'm laughing.
Again, as you look over at him, he is like slowly tracing a circle around himself with his foot in the mud. And then you
A
see as
very
he
unique-
jumps out of the circle and looks at it.
A very unique individual who sees the world very different, beautiful way.
Well, let's just agree that if it comes to it and we need, as Oliver put it, a distraction that inevitably could get him killed, I feel like it's as good a bet as any. But yeah,
Yes. Weird.
Listen, I'm not advocating that we actively try to administer our own justice. I'm just
Your plan B is make Roby just a little sheep out to pasture. I don't love that.
okay, let me rephrase. I think that when it comes down to us, the three of us might have the hard time doing the hard thing. Because we like him. I'm struggling with that myself, but we like him.
You look
And
over at
I
Roby.
think-
He is currently following the path of a chicken that's walking in front of him, and the chicken keeps looking back and moving faster, and he keeps trying to keep up with the chicken, and now it's flapping and running, and you watch as some guy comes up and goes, "What are you doing? Come on!" as he like scoots away.
I think we
You
need
were
to
saying?
take our morally gray assets and give them to our most morally gray member? Is that rude to say?
I'll
Oliver,
take that as a
honestly
compliment.
think I mean, I don't know. I think given the last couple of days, yours probably isn't the most mortally gray one out of all of us right now.
Yeesh.
Yeah, that's entirely
Sorry.
fair. No,
I mean, I know that's a little harsh to say right now, Oliver, but it was a little bit hot calling the kettle gray.
Yeah. Yeah, you're fair. Look, I also just wanted to give Xeris the ability to tell him to stop talking tonight.
That's fair. Okay.
Thank you.
I just think that once upon a time, I was smarter than Roby, but I had about as much going for me as he did. So it's very easy for me to project onto him. Perhaps I am printed on Roby, the way a small duckling would, looking at a very large, very stupid duck.
But he could draw, like Oliver said, he could draw out who we are looking for.
I think he could
And
be
then-
Be
useful.
helpful.
And then if we can protect him as much as possible, but
What do we do? Do we take him around Basincrest with us?
Let's make him Marson's
s-
assistant.
set him loose and see what happens.
God.
I think
Roby's day
we-
out.
I think that if we find a location that we have suspicions about, let's take him with us and see if anyone behaves strangely to his presence.
I don't think we should take him directly to the Arcane Alliance.
Oh,
I
no,
think
for
that will immediately, any goodwill that we could have with them will be immediately depleted by Roby's. I was gonna say presence, but I think general being also works.
Also that.
That's fair.
I think we need to keep him in the pocket until we find until we have a suspect.
Okay.
Okay.
Works for me.
All right, you call back over Roby. It takes, again, a little bit of time, but once you finally catch his attention, he runs over, you pull his hands out of his ears, and he goes, all right, so turning in for the evening?
Yep.
All right, Xeris, let me help you. And he goes and, just holds up the back of your cloak so it's not trailing in the mud.
Thanks.
He, as you two wander and the rest of you wander back over to the kombucha aficionado, you all go to your respective rooms and turn in for the night. As you are settling down in your beds, Oliver, you still have one more stop. You have Glint Harbor, which is going to be the next evening, and then you will arrive in Basincrest. Do you have any things that you'd like to do in Glint Harbor, or are you just settling in for the journey?
Yeah, I think I think I'm like, let's keep it moving.
Mhm.
I think I'm struggling a little bit with the opulence that has been provided to us, and so I'm
Yeah.
just trying to not let myself fall into that trap again.
You settle in, you take off your armor, you make up your bed as you lay down, and just sort of let sort of the weight of the day fall off of you. Thinking about the fact that you were named champion last night and the attention that you've gotten has been very, very strange. The next room over, Voxy, you
Yes.
are settling in. You in your room. How do you feel as a champion now?
I think, similarly to how I felt during the last session, it feels weird because it feels wrong the way that it happened. It was the rushed ceremony. It was almost a usurping of the throne kind of thing, deal with Sarah.
Yeah.
That was not what I expected. Like I told her, I was like, I never expected to be named a champion while she was still alive.
Yeah.
And therefore I never really expected or whatever to become a champion, or I wanted it, but it was a weird thing because that meant that she was dead, but also she and I had a strained relationship. So there's all of that. And now that I have it and she was fired because of that, there's a lot of conflicting feelings, a lot of guilt, but also like, I got it, I did it, I did it. But
do you take like a
it's
little
not
moment to
the
sort
way
of
I wanted
savor
it.
that like celebration, or is it all like
Yes.
uncomfortable?
No, there's a moment of like, there's definitely some celebration, internal, like mostly like a relief of I did it. It happened and everything's okay, right? Kind of, in that Sarah's not dead.
Yeah.
But
she is gone from the Fellguard now. And
very upset.
as you sit down,
and that's upsetting.
you think about her leaving and the terms of which she left. And it does kind of bring you back away from that celebratory, like almost elated feeling of, I'm a champion, I did it, to, but she had it taken from her. And as you sort of like, yeah, as you lay down against your pillow, we move over to the next bedroom over Pepper. You are getting ready for bed, sitting on the bed. It is, it's a nice bed. This is again, it's chain in, so everything's up to a good amount of standards. What's going through your head?
Feel weird. I didn't expect to see Roby make it. So that threw me, although I am very happy that he made it. I don't feel like, I feel weird about bringing him along because it's like, I want to bring him along because I like him, then I want to make sure he is okay in this world. But also we get up to some shit always.
You're constantly getting up
that.
to some shit.
And I feel very weird thinking about like when Roby talks about like the Children of Orcus stuff, and like my first thought, or like how it's like, oh yeah, no, we do all this and then we die and then he brings us back, duh. And my immediate impulse is like, God, that's so dumb. Is to think about like, man, I must have sounded pretty silly when I was defending an evil djinn who would take over the world, but it would be cool.
Yeah.
For me. So feeling some kind of way about that.
Yeah. You also think back to I think the feeling of finding a person who was an enemy and now almost completely heel turned. It's a strange feeling because I feel like it kind of makes you think about other situations that you've had in the past, other enemies that you've faced. And as you lay back against your pillow, I think that you just focus in on that feeling, and we move over to Xeris. Xeris, you are settling in your room. Roby has laid down on the wooden floor, and you see him as he places his hands across his chest. He doesn't have a blanket. He doesn't have a pillow or anything. He just lays down quietly.
I mean, I think we can get you something to sleep on.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's great. I appreciate that, sir. What kind of you?
We have extra anything
there's a little closet
yeah,
that's got a pillow and some blankets. He sets them up and he lays down and pulls the blanket up over his chest. And as you settle onto your bed, he sits there for a second, and there's a moment of quiet, a little bit of shuffling on the bed, and you hear him go, Hey, Xeris.
Yeah, Roby.
It's real nice to have friends.
Yep, it is. Get some sleep.
Good night. I'll see you
Good
bright
night.
and early in the morning.
You certainly will.
Okay. And you see as he like turns over. Xeris.
Yes.
When he does this, what goes through your head?
I guess I get the idea behind bringing him along, but I guess the concept of literally just potentially just shoving someone in front of us to get shot by the gun, as it were, does seem a little like, I don't know, not out of character for us, but at the same time, like, I don't know, maybe there's a better way of doing it, but I guess he's not. He knows that he's probably the one that could do the bad thing if he had to, but at the same time, I think he's like, do we have to? But then he's also like, he better not talk while I'm sleeping, because I really need to sleep because I'm exhausted.
You lay down and you glance over at him when you think this last thought of, you better not talk. You look over as he's like kicking a little bit in his sleep. Aw, he's dreaming. And you turn back over. Welcome back. So, we had just left off with the gang settling inside the Kombucha Aficionado, a chain inn inside of Trade Town, with their newly appointed member of the champions, the Breakfast Champions,
We never said that.
Roby, the cult member. He has been hired to help out, similar to Marcin, and he has been dubbed working for Xeris, which is very, very fun. So the next morning, everything pops up pretty early. 6:30, like you said. You see as Xeris, roll a Constitution check for me.
Let's see. 17.
17. You wake up before Roby. It's not like he slept in late or anything, but you're definitely up before him. And as you look at him, he's mouth open on the floor, absolutely tuckered out. Do you wake him, or do you walk over him and leave the room?
I'm just gonna nudge. I'll nudge him with my foot and be like, "Come on, we gotta go." And then I'm gonna walk out.
He goes, yeah, and goes, okay, yep. And you see as he grabs stuff, he's already dressed. He went to bed in his clothes, and he gets up, brushes himself off, and grabs your bags and carries them down. And you watch as the door opens, and Marcin comes in and goes, is he with you?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'll go
worry about
grab
it.
the other ones. And he goes, and Pepper, Voxy, and Oliver, you all meet downstairs as Xeris and Roby come wandering down the steps. And you watch as Roby has the bags. He's got like 4 of them that are stacked up on his arms, and one that he's dragging behind him. He gets to the cart and he starts putting them in to the like seating area where you guys normally sit, and you see as Marcin goes like, no, it goes on top. It goes on top. As Roby goes, oh, what, my mistake. He goes and grabs it, starts loading it on. Marcin goes, all right, folks, we have got to get going here soon. Long day ahead of us. We're not going to be able to stop in Glint Harbor, but we're going to try to go through the night to make it to Basincrest pretty early in the morning tomorrow morning. So, well, unfortunately, we're going to have to be driving throughout the night, but there should be places and for you to rest your heads in the cart. And you watch as Roby goes, if you kindly step this way, and he opens up the door and gestures into it.
You're so much better at this than you were at kombuching.
He goes, thanks, Marcin showed me a lot while we were grabbing your bags. Watch. Thank you.
Oh, I love him. I'm gonna get in, and I'm just gonna give him a little hair tussle.
He reacts to that and straightens his hair back again, and shuts the door behind you. And you watch as he climbs up onto the cart next to Marcin, and they hit the reins. And the cart moves out of Trade Town, passing by the statue of you four with the paint that was on Oliver's side of the statue, and heading towards Glint Harbor. So heading south, you are passing by a bunch of mountains to your east on your left side. And you're remembering that this area was in fact where Voxy had been taken by the Wyvern. Where she was taken up to a cliffside where the Wyvern's eggs were being kept, and how you couldn't kill the Wyvern. You had to just basically incapacitate it and free Voxy and leave it, knowing that with the Fellguard rules, you can't actually kill animals that have the eggs with them or are nesting. You round a corner, and after the course of about maybe 4 or 5 hours of riding, you can see in the distance Glint Harbor is down towards the south, and you can see the Amber Coast from here. But you can also see another thing. Rising up along the Pinefell Grove, it's starting to grow back. Back 5 years ago, when it was cut down to be used as building materials for Glint Harbor, you can see that the landscape is now full of thousands of about 10-foot tall pine trees that are starting to grow back now. Very slowly but surely. And as you ride, the four of you have a chance to chat with each other. As you listen to Roby up front going, "Sure are big trees. You know, I once climbed a tree that was so tall that I couldn't even see the floor." And Marcin goes, I believe you. And he goes, "Oh, look, a bird." And just sort of just motor mouth.
I'm gonna really enjoy having him here.
I'm not.
How was last night, Saris?
I mean, he fell asleep, so that was good. He almost slept with nothing on the floor. He just laid on the floor until I made him realize that there was stuff he could use.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
You took care of him.
I don't think
good
anyone can
parent.
take care of him.
Oh, you're doing such a good job, Dad. Look at you. Already proud father with your small son. And you got to sleep through the entire night with him. That's crazy.
Truly absolutely insane. Never happens.
You overhear
So-
as... Oh, excuse me. Oliver, go.
I got nothing. I don't know.
I was going to say, you overhear as Roby says, you mind if I take a spin on this? And reaches for the reins, and Marcin goes, "No, you can't, okay? It's my job to do this. You can keep after Xeris if you like." And you hear a scuffling on the side of the door as Roby goes over and cracks it and says, "Xeris, you need anything?"
Nope.
All right. Closes it. Climbs back over, scrambling, gets back over. You hear a muffled voice where he says, "I don't know, we didn't need anything."
You did this to me, Oliver.
Yeah.
So how long is this gonna take? This is we're gonna get there tomorrow, not even
Yeah.
today.
We're driving
Yeah.
through the night.
All right. Well, did we decide on a plan for when we get to Basincrest, or?
Yeah, we go find, we go to the Arcane Alliance, we talk to Lucian, hopefully Lucian points us in a direction, and then we go from there.
And if he doesn't?
Then we parade Roby around until somebody looks at him funny and then follow that thread.
Got it.
I wonder if we could like stage it, you know? Like if we could like grab Roby and be like, you are one of the children of Orcus, but like publicly, you know? And then we like make a whole production out of it and see like I don't know. Then I think we
will
just have
definitely
to
get
arrest
him
Roby.
killed. Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Public execution, probably.
I just wanted to roleplay. I'm sorry.
I
I was just
like the
making
idea.
a plan that would be fun for me.
No, that's a good plan,
We could
Pepper. I
say
like
that-
it.
We could say that Roby was an agent of ours that was undercover with the Children of Orcus.
No one's gonna believe that.
Oh, we
Yeah,
have several
Yeah.
hours. We could give him acting lessons.
God.
No.
I don't think that would work.
Pepper, that runs in your family.
Ow! I'm a terrible actor. You guys have seen me. I can't tell a lie. Except for all the lies I told you guys, but that was your fault for believing them.
I don't think that's how lying works.
I don't know. I'm out of habit. I haven't lied in a long time. And what
Well-
is acting but just lying and getting paid for it?
That's what they say.
This is true.
Should we tell Roby he's an actor now?
Oh, I wonder
gonna
if
have
my mom would train him. Oh,
He's gonna have
that's,
so many questions.
that would be a really good, like...
We're also assuming he
Feedback?
understands the concept of actors.
I
He
feel
has
like
to
he's
understand the concept of acting, right?
We had to explain to him what a postman was.
that's true.
To be fair, Oliver used a lot of $5 words.
$5 words.
Okay, so let's talk roles when we get into the interrogation stage. I nominate Pepper as the one that is leading any questioning.
Okay.
Good
I'll
cop?
second that.
Are we playing bad cop on the Arcane Alliance?
Oh no, I don't know. Usually there's a good cop, bad cop.
Well, I am the good cop, for sure.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
that.
If I may make some suggestions, we have Pepper lead the questioning, and out of game. What's everybody's insight score?
+0.
-1.
Okay, I've got a.
+7.
Oh.
All right, so Pepper.
Okay.
Jack of all trades, baby.
You know what? Actually, maybe that is the better option. If Pepper is listening and vibe checking people, because they can also use message to suggest lines of questioning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who should do the questioning? What's your insight?
Mine is +3. My persuasion is a -1, though.
My persuasion is a +1.
0.
Okay, so
I think maybe Oliver do the questioning and then Pepper do the mental gymnastics. They can do the messaging and suggesting of questions and such.
Okay, Oliver, you just have to be nice.
okay. Wait, what do you mean? I can be nice.
You can't be. I'm not saying that you can't be. Most of the time, you are a lovely gem of a person. Sometimes, when you prep yourself for a conversation and you go in calling it an interrogation, like you already have, you come in with a weird vibe, and I think it maybe makes some other people uncomfortable. So I think on this one, like maybe just come in and be like an interview, you know?
Oh,
They've got
Like
a point.
investigative journalism, not
Mm.
formal interrogation.
gotcha. Okay.
And maybe Xeris and I can be the backup intimidation muscle silent, of course, in the background.
I actually think that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
If we can make them feel uncomfortable in the situation, they'll be more likely to slip up on anything.
Exactly.
So
But not
And
too
If we need to
uncomfortable.
distract them, we always have Rovi. So
There you go.
And of course, then if they feel uncomfortable at the overall situation and I present myself as a source of comfort,
Yes. Now you're
I
getting
can-
into the mind game.
I can endear myself to them through that method.
Exactly.
Great idea.
no
So-
notes.
you continue forward, clip-clopping along, listening to Roby just chatting up a storm at
Just yapping.
just yapping. He's the king of Yaptown right now. And you pass by Glint Harbor going along the outside of it. Again, another place that has been almost completely rebuilt at this point. The new keep has been developed there, and you can also see that the buildings are fresh wood, and it's looking beautiful. As you pass by it, the sun is beginning to set at this point, and you head to the east now, heading over in the direction of Basincrest. From your perspective, you can see on the horizon there is almost a ethereal blue glow coming from the east. And you recognize that immediately, Oliver, having been the closest, I believe, to Basincrest in the past. This is just kind of what
It's the Lucky 88.
Yes, it's in the distance. As you are riding in your cart, night falls. You grab your things. You settle in a little bit. It's gonna be not a very comfortable sleeping area, but there's enough space that you all can lay down where you need to be. Roby and Marcin are up front. Marcin has given the reins to Roby, who is learning how to drive the cart at this point, seemingly breaking him down, at least wearing him down. And is there anything that you four would like to do during the evening, or would you like to just jump to the next morning?
I'm good to jump to the next morning unless someone else has an idea.
All right. So, you all fall asleep to the clip-clopping of the horses as you move along the path. And you wake up to the sound of the, Xeris, you wake up to this first. You hear a voice going, Xeris? Xeris? Sir? And a little hand tapping you on the nose.
What is it, Roby?
Marcin wanted me to tell you that we're here.
Okay.
And I
Thank
didn't know
you.
if I was allowed to wake up the others.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Should I wake them up now?
No, I'll take care of it.
Okay. You're doing great, Xeris. I'm real proud of you.
Thank you.
And he climbs out of the cart and goes around to the front. And you hear him say, "No, apparently Xeris says I can wake up the others too, but he's got it. He's good at what he does."
Everyone wake up. We're here.
You all...
This carriage is slightly larger than some of the closets that I've slept in.
Oliver.
Well, I mean, I wasn't doing it with 3 other people, so it's still a net loss.
Oliver, not during Pride Month.
All right, so you open up the door, or excuse me, you roll up the shades on the window and glance out. And so, Oliver, I think you're the only person who has been to Basincrest, but not been in the city. I think everybody else has never seen this city before. In front of you, what you can see is a city that stands tall on top of a large, plateau-like terrain. There's farmland and other smaller homes that dot the landscape around the city itself, and you watch as waterfalls are draining from the sides of the plateau, falling down and feeding into the many rivers that surround the farmland here. The plateau itself is crumbling and broken, but the city stands tall atop it with hundreds of spires adorned with these blue and gold coloring that are rising up from the base. You also notice that there is a strange shimmer that is over the city itself. Who would like to give me an Arcana check? Oliver.
I'll get in on that. I feel like I've got fairly good Arcana, right? Yeah. It's a 12.
I mean, this is not going to be too hard for you. This is some kind of protective ward. You can see that the magical dome that covers the city here, this magical dome shimmers almost like a bubble would, with this like almost like rainbow sort of like oil slick look, causing refractions of rainbows in the air. In Dawnspire, as you start to approach closer, you can see that the cart is moving past the farmland now, heading towards the front of the plateau itself, and you can see that there is a large, like elevator-style mechanism that is in front of it. And the whole cart climbs aboard, and think of this almost like the size of like a ferry, where you get multiple carts that can get up on top of it. And you watch as people climb out and are looking about as the whole thing begins to slowly rise up towards the city. In Dawnspire, the landscape is dominated by like white stone terracotta rooftops. But here there's gorgeous brick, stone, and metal structures that are coated with vibrant and colorful flowers. The overall palette of the city is greens, blues, violets, reds, and oranges. And you can see that almost all of the main like towers and spires here are these blue stone structures with golden rooftops that rise in the distance. Almost all the architecture here is very rounded and organic. Columns, archways, spires. There's hardly any like hard geometric lines here in this space. As the whole thing comes to a stop, you see as Marcin brings the horses forward, and as you reach the like base area of one of the lower levels of the city, you can see that rising up above you are so many layers of streets, and there's almost every single building has some kind of awning or like a deck or some kind of place where people can go out and sit and chat. The city itself is lush year-round thanks to the magic that is infused in the soil here. And you can see that all the gardens and plants around you are infused with magical energy, with silvered leaves that shimmer gently in the sun. And you can also see that flittering around are small little magical pests that are flying about. You hear as you are heading down the street corner, what's going through everyone's heads as you see this city, this like magical world, unlike anything you've seen before?
I'm kind of struck by the fact that we woke up like 24 hours ago. We were in a city that was like full of beggars and destitute and starvation. Yeah. Now we're here. I don't like that.
Voxy?
I'm kind of awestruck by the beauty of the place and magic. It feels like a place I never would have gotten to go before. And it feels like one of those moments that's really pulling on the heartstring of, I did it, this is cool, I'm a champion now, and I get to go places like this for work. It's making that feeling even stronger.
You look out into the city and you pass by a small little like town square like area. There's these fountains that are sculpted of crystal that are sending water arcs that are gracefully flying into the air, twisting and turning, and surrounding the fountain itself are these flowers that are blooming with all colors of the rainbow. Pepper, what's going through your head as you watch these magical things pass by?
I think it's really cool. I'd never admit that to anyone. And I am wary of a city that seems to run entirely on magic.
Fair enough. As you pass by, you see some street performers, these elemental mages who are dancing with fire, and one of them's dancing with water, performing these acrobatic feats and creating mesmerizing shapes in the air as a crowd of people are applauding for them. You see a couple of them drop some some like copper and silver pieces into the hats that are down on the floor as they give a graceful bow. Xeris, as you see this, what's going through your head?
I guess the whole vibe of this city, and like, I get it's not that it's terrifying to him, but I do think there's an element of the unknown / like this is the kind of city that he's not used to. Like like navigating it like in the shadows or whatever he may or may not need to do is going to be more difficult because of the way it's kind of run.
Mm-hmm. The cart comes to a stop in front of a massive building. This is the Arcane Alliance Institute. Arriving in front of it, you see as Marcin hops out, as Roby pushes past him and opens the door. Xeris, Pepper, Voxy, Oliver, the four of you step out, and you see the Arcane Alliance itself. This guild hall that rises several stories high, its towers reaching up towards the heavens itself, with carved runes and intricate glyphs adorning the outer walls of this hall that are pulsating with magical energy that dances in shimmering patterns. You can see that on the front of it, very similar to the guild hall for the Fellguard, there are large banners of blue and gold as opposed to the green and gold. And up at the front, you see a familiar sight, an elven man. This is Lucerin Fyro. He sees you and says,
I'm just gonna.
"Well, yes, Oliver."
I'm just gonna quickly stash my shield and spear in the carriage.
Okay,
so that
gotcha.
I can seem less scary.
Okay, gotcha. You grab that, and Lucian walks over and says, "Hail and well met, champions. Welcome to Basincrest. Now, have you had any breakfast this morning, or are we all rearing to go?"
I think we're fine. We are the breakfast company, so we usually come pretty well stacked there. Unless anyone else
Delightful.
feels
I mean,
differently.
did we have rations this morning in the carriage?
I think you probably had some
I
snacks.
think we brought enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Breakfast company, we come well stacked.
Yeah, it was the stacked one that got me a lot.
I didn't know what else to say.
Really good. I liked it so much.
An absolute
Huge
wild choice
tracts
of
of-
words there. So Lucerin
Like pancakes.
gestures over to I've already forgotten his name, my god. To Marcin and waves his hand, and you see as he gives a nod, and Xeris, you see as Roby looks at you and looks at Marcin and goes, where do I go?
Just hang here at the carriage for now.
He's taking the carriage, I think.
He's taking the carriage.
Yeah, they're gonna go park it, and they can't leave it out in the street like this.
I'm just gonna turn in Oliver's direction and be like, what do we do with him?
I guess we bring him with us.
I thought we weren't bringing him with us.
Yeah, I didn't plan on it either. But if we,
Is there an alley or like any kind of like crates near the door that we can have him stand behind?
So
Where we
there's
can,
not
like,
like an
stash
alley.
him.
This is like, think of it almost like a corporate like courtyard where there's like beautiful trees and some places to sit, and there's like mages who are wandering about with their robes. this road is almost like a like a
he's-
turnaround, like roundabout place, and he looks shockingly out of place here.
Yeah, he sticks out like a sore thumb.
We'll just
Oliver.
send him with Marcin,
Okay.
and we'll make note of anywhere that we think he might be useful.
Okay, I'll go with Marcin. And he goes, wait up!
Hey,
As he,
hey, come back here. Come back
sorry. Ears in?
Xeris did not
No.
tell you to go.
Oh, you're right. Xeris, he gets down on his knees and goes, I'm so sorry. Please don't fire me. I'm trying to do good on my first day.
It's not your first
second
day. It's your second day. We're hoping. Just.
I guess,
yes,
but that
do
was
what-
mostly
do
just
what Oliver
riding.
said. Yes, it was. Okay, just do what Oliver told you to do.
Okay, copy that. Thank you, sir. Mr. Oliver. And he scampers over, and now the cart is rounding the corner as he is running. And Pepper, this reminds me very much of when he was running from the avalanche. The boy can run.
The boy can run.
Ugh.
All right, so Lucerin goes,
Episode.
wonderful. All right, if the four of you would please join me, and we'll go take a look at the hall. He walks in and starts heading towards the entrance of the guild. And you can see now, walking inside the guild itself, the hall itself is this massive like foyer and adorned with these tapestries. And on them you can see mages performing all these like magical feats that are greeting visitors, and a chandelier, a massive chandelier, the biggest one you've ever seen, hangs from this vaulted ceiling. These crystals that are refracting this ambient magic that sort of fills the room. The interior of the hall itself is this labyrinth of corridors and chambers, each one that is dedicated to a different aspect of the arcane arts. And throughout the guild hall itself, the air is thick with the scent of incense and the crackle of arcane energies. And the air twinkles with these magical sparks, almost like fireflies of different colors that are dancing and fading and drifting aimlessly throughout the space. And in the center of the hall, you see a large crystal that is surrounded by these concentric circles of rune-carved stones that are floating in the air, all slowly and aimlessly sort of spinning around it, that are channeling energy to this crystal itself. And you can see this blue tower that is housing this crystal that's lit from below with this golden light, with curtains of banners of blue and gold that are hanging from the ceilings attached to the tower itself. Lucerin walks over past it and says, and if you look closely, you'll see the nexus. This is the this serves as a focal point for the guild hall itself, as well as regulating the raw, untamed magic that the runes are providing for it. The Nexus, in fact, helps maintain the magical ward that protects Basincrest. Now, the leader of the Fellguard did give me instructions to watch you and show you around Basincrest, make sure that you are taken care of in our fair city, but he neglected to tell me what it is you were doing here.
Oliver.
We are looking into some illicit scrolls that were found in Dawnspire.
I see.
The workmanship on these particular items was very powerful, something that could only have come from this city.
Okay.
And we are looking to find the source of these scrolls.
I see. Does this have any connection to the attack on the Fellguard?
It does.
I can only assume. Right. Well, that is saddening and troubling to hear that it may have come from our town, but I assure you that we will get to the bottom of this mess. So, do you have any leads or places that you'd like to visit?
Here in the city, I'm assuming there are at least a few scroll crafters.
Yes, of course. There's plenty. There's plenty of shops that will create scrolls. Of course, they all come with their different price tags, but based on what I remember, the spells that were used at the funeral attack, these were of a higher caliber. And those are going to come from, well, honestly, probably from the Alliance itself. There's not many people who can make a spell of that power.
Right. Let's begin there.
All right.
You could direct us to someone that is well versed in scrollcraft.
Of course. If you please follow me, I will lead you to our one of our mages. He walks down some of the labyrinthian halls here, and as you are going, you're passing by so many students of this institute itself. Mages, battle mages, some are just like working on spells while in the hallways, just crafting this energy from their hands. Pepper, seeing all these mages working out and about, what's going through your head right now?
I don't feel as special as I did yesterday, and I don't like it.
Okay, good to know.
It's also, I think, weird for Pepper, who just like is hesitant to use magic out in the open, like sometimes for people to just like be at a school doing it all the time. It's a weird vibe.
Gotcha. You watch as you pass by a group of spellcasters who are out in this like beautiful courtyard area. And as Lucerin passes by, you see that he gives like a look to this group of spellcasters who are using magic missile to knock bottles and shatter them off of a table that is a good like 20 or so feet away from them. As he walks you all forward around the courtyard on the halls on the side, he walks over towards a like classroom of sorts and opens it up. Inside, you see that there is an elf who is writing on some parchment inside on his desk, and looks quite. Elves are. They can live for a very, very long time, and this is a very, very old elf. He looks up and sees you all come in, and he says, "Lucerin, and why do you grace my door today?" Lucerin says, I am here representing the Fellguard for the evening," and he gestures over towards you four and says, "These are the champions, the new champions." And you watch as this elf looks over and gives and he stands up and begins walking over towards you with a hand outstretched. And he says, "My name is Quildor Orlana. Pleasure to make your acquaintance."
It's very it's pleasurable to meet you. It is a pleasure to make yours as well, sir.
"And how can I serve the Fellguard this evening?"
Well, we are conducting an investigation into the terrorist attack back in Dawnspire. And during the course of our investigation, we have discovered that a primary weaponry that was used in the attack was a rather large stockpile of very powerful spell scrolls. And I go on to describe like the effect of what the spells were. And then I say, essentially, everyone keeps saying that something like this type of magic, this caliber on this scale would require a certain level of skill and a certain amount of resources. And I just wanted to learn more about what exactly they mean by that. Get a sort of concrete picture of exactly what would be needed to make something of this scale.
Of course. He stands up and slowly walks over towards a large door, and you can see that it is padlocked. He opens it up, and when he opens the door, the room itself has a like, you know, in like Elden Ring and Demon Souls, that like fog that covers the doorway, it's basically like that. It is opaque. You can't
they're
see
hiding
through
the
it.
loading screens.
Yes. He walks through it and completely disappears. I assume the four of you follow him, yes? All right. You walk in and you just step into what seems to be a regular room, a storage room. And as he is searching for some of the scrolls that are in there, he says, and the spells that were cast, what were the effects of this? Do you remember what spells were used?
I just describe.
Yeah.
I know I wasn't in the room when the spells went off.
Yeah, I can describe what it was without, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, what I remember, I guess, from episode 1, was yellow smoke, and then everyone kind of it kind of killed people almost instantly, and then someone else used a spell to bring them back to life.
Then I can describe. I think I would like know by name most of the spells they used in like combat, the ones that like survived.
Mm-hmm.
That like we would know like the names of them more easily.
That saddens me. He goes over and you see as
Why is
he
that?
grabs a scroll and unrolls it, and you can see that written in script is a spell called Cloud Kill. And he goes, this is a spell that creates a sphere of poisonous gas that lasts for a good while until dispelled, but it is quite deadly. And if the way you've described this, these inky black tentacles, that would most likely belong to this. And he goes over and grabs another spell scroll and unrolls it, and you see in script it says Dance Macabre. It says this is a reanimation spell. It's not available to the general public. It was something that was kept with us for some time. The reason I say this is unfortunate is because I was worried that something like this might come to pass, and when I heard of the news of the funeral, I felt very much responsible.
Who else
Why
would
is
have
that?
access to these spells?
There was a theft about 2 weeks ago. They took a handful of scrolls, and a lot of these had been cataloged, but not all of them. Not many people
Would we
have
be
the
able to
access.
take a look at this catalog?
Sure, if you'd like. I'm not sure what all you'd glean from it, but he goes over to this big tome, and you can see that there's a lot of spells that have been written and crossed and written again and crossed again. This is like whatever sequence of things. It seems like a lot of these like spell scrolls can either be like pulled from here and used or brought in, and so there's constantly an influx of new things that are brought in, and the theft pulled a good number of them. And you also see as he opens up the book, and you can see that the last like 5 or so pages have been torn and are
I
ripped out.
gasp.
No, not the book. And he goes, as you can see, we had a difficult time tracking what all had been taken.
Can I do an insight check on this guy to see if he's like this when he's saying like, "Oh, I'm really upset about this." Is that like legitimate or
Sure, give me an insight
put
check.
on? Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. So that's gonna be a 9.
Okay.
I do have a +7, so I think
Okay.
we can all do math and
16.
understand what I rolled. No, I rolled a 2, so +7 is a 9.
Oh, I see.
You understand
I see.
what? Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not
Um,
great.
This elf is very old, and because of that, any emotion that he's feeling seems to be locked back, and it's really hard to get a read on him. The lines of his face are drawn, and he looks just... God, it's even hard to tell what he's thinking in this moment.
Fair.
When this theft occurred, did you see the thief leave the city? I feel like there's enough magical protection that we passed through that there's no way they could have escaped.
He
Unless
looks over
someone
at...
within the city already.
He looks over at Lucerin. Xeris, give me an insight check.
All right. All right. Insight. I already said 10.
Okay. You watch as you watch as Kildor was about to speak, and Lucerin steps forward and says, "There are many glyphs and wards that protect this area. If there was a theft or a robbery that took place, that I can guarantee that we would have caught the suspect." And you watch as Kildor looks over at him and says, "Yes, if someone broke in, we would have detected it."
So you're admitting that it's someone who was here. And I'm going to look straight at Kildor. Someone who had access stole these, took these scrolls.
He looks over at Lucerin and says, "It's my understanding that whoever took these scrolls had access, but there's only a few members who have access to this area, and they've all been questioned again and again."
They haven't been questioned by us.
Do you have any leads?
At the moment, no.
Very well. Then, if you would be so kind, Lucerin, as to summon anyone that would have had access one at a time. Is it okay if we set up in here, do some interviews?
Well, we can get you an empty classroom if you'd like.
That's
That
perfect.
works.
All right. Lucerin.
Actually, if it's possible, I think I still have a little bit of work to do in the catalog here. So if we were able to do it in here, I think that would be more effective.
I'm sorry, but certain members of the Arcane Alliance are not even allowed to enter this warded area.
But the people we're interviewing would be people that had access to this space, which are the people who would have been able to take these scrolls, would they not?
That is true.
Okay, then. Then I
How
think
many
Oliver
people
is
had
okay
access?
with
Say again,
doing it
Boxy?
here.
How many people have access to this room?
There's about 15 members of the Arcane Alliance who have access to this room.
All right. Well, we'll see those 15 in here in just a few minutes. Right?
Lucerin looks at the four of you and says, "If you wish to conduct your interviews here, that is acceptable. I will send for a servant to go collect the members who have access to this place, and we will continue from there." And he goes and he leans up against the wall and watches the four of you.
As I've got the catalog in front of me, I want to do some mental math, and knowing presumably the number of items that would be missing from those 5 pages, knowing that not all of the items on those 5 pages would have been something that was stolen. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, of the ones that they have marked as being stolen, how does that compare up against the number that were used in the attack?
So unfortunately, because of the amount of pages that were taken, that math is going to be impossible to really track up. The pages being torn out they date back like months, like that number of times that it's been taken out. But I will give you this.
Okay.
Give me an investigation check.
That is a 13.
Okay. You see a couple names that pop up on here. You see a name. You see LaFerelin that pops up. You see another name of Nayla that pops up. And you see another name of Tordinar that pops up a lot. These are names of folks who have for sure pulled spell scrolls from this space.
And so the pages that we do have, do they have any like here's items that were definitely taken?
Yeah, so whenever a spell scroll is pulled from this space, the name is written down, the date, as well as the spell scroll that was pulled. It is also noted whether or not the spell scroll was used. It seems like your average things that are basically pulled, some are like battle spells, some are like, but they're almost all going to be like level 3 or lower for a lot of these.
Okay. So then, am I coming to the conclusion that the pages that were removed is where all the stolen ones were?
Yes, you believe so.
Okay. Okay. So then we don't know if there's any more out there.
Well, I guess we start with those 3 names that we got.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Xeris, the close. Pepper, can you do the thing?
What thing? Oh, yes. Phew! Hi, Oliver.
Hi, would you use
You
the same
point
spell
at
to
Oliver
ask
and
Xeris?
nothing happens.
Oh, no!
Oh shit.
Lutheran?
Yes.
So, is it possible that, I could be given special permission to cast in this space while we are doing the investigations? I would love to cast specifically a Zone of Truth, maybe a Detect Thoughts, and maybe the Message Cantrip, just to be able to talk with my team, not with the eyes of people we are interviewing.
I'm terribly sorry. And he goes and you watch as he steps back away from the floor, and you can see that the whole floor has a glyph that has been carved into it, this like set in metal. And he says, "This room is protected. Anything within it, no spells can be cast. This is, of course, for protection from any spell scrolls to be used here. This is a safety
This makes
precaution."
sense. That makes sense. Great work. Great security. Well, anyway.
Well,
so,
okay.
Ah.
I look to the group. Does that mean we should do it somewhere else then?
I don't know. I think that
I would really love to be able to cast during this. I would really love to be able to wink wink. I'd really love to be able to cast during this.
all
I'm
right.
fine with moving.
Yep. I think the sort of pressure of being near the scene of the crime is outweighed by the ability to use magic for the investigation. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
I
So would you
appreciate
prefer
it.
to have an empty classroom, or would you like to find a different facility?
We'll find a space that is suitable. Right, Oliver?
An empty classroom sounds fine.
Wonderful.
Are we able to cast in classrooms?
You will be able to cast in the classrooms, yes.
Thanks, Lutheran.
Of course, it's my pleasure to serve.
Oh, it's not. I can tell by that voice, it's not.
Nope.
He
Don't need an
gestures-
inside check for that, man.
He gestures with a hand as the four of you exit the room, walk out, and leaving this room and going to the next one over. You can see that it's a classroom that has like this large table with a bunch of vials and stuff. Think of it as almost like an alchemy room. He goes over and you watch as he goes and takes a seat in the back of the room and looks at the four of you.
So who are we having first?
Well, the servants could have collected, they've collected a couple people, and you watch as they, a couple people start arriving after about 10-15 minutes of you all being set there. The first about 5 people who come in, it's clear they don't know anything. You chat with them, you chat with a half-orc, you chat with a dragonborn, you chat with a halfling, you chat with a human, and they don't seem to be giving any information, nor do they even frequent these scrolls for a while. The next person that you get is LaFerelin. This woman walks in, and she is a high elf, and you watch as she comes in, looks at the four of you, and says, "What is this?" And Lucerin says, "We have a couple more questions regarding the theft of some scrolls that took place about 2 weeks hence." And she goes, "I've already answered as many questions as I can stomach. Lucerin, who are these?" And Lucian says, "You're looking at the new champions of the Fellguard." And she looks over and goes, "Apologies. How can I help?"
No need to apologize. We we pride ourselves on trying to do a good job, and we're new at it, so it's entirely understandable. Have a seat.
Of course. My condolences, of course, to you after the attack on at Mr. Astrod's funeral.
That's very kind of you. Thank you. Can I do you need a glass of water? Anything like that?
I think I'll be fine.
Great. So I've been hearing a lot the last few interviews regarding the nature of these spells. They're telling me that you do have access to these spells, so maybe you can help me to understand a little bit more about the way that the spell scroll crafting process works, the cataloging process.
Well, I am a defender for the Arcane Alliance. I work as a battle mage for them, providing assistance for both martial and arcane arts. I have access to the spell scrolls as are needed per the request. So if there is a fight that takes place and I need an extra little a way to deal a little bit more damage, I'm allowed to enter and pick out what scrolls suit me best, but of course, signing out for them. The spell scrolls themselves, they are developed by Kildor, as well as built out by any number of mages who come through, and even some ones that we collect that are sold to us, by my understanding.
Okay. And so this Kildor gentleman or person, they handle the entirety of the scroll crafting that is done here in the Alliance.
Primarily, Kildor has a team of researchers and mages who also help build out these spell scrolls, and as they are developed using the components as well as the cost that is involved, of course, provided amply by the Alliance. She looks over at Lucerin and looks back at you and says, "Anything we need, we can get here."
Can I step in between them so that Lucerin and they're not looking at each other? I feel like that's a conflict of interest.
Okay, sure.
Sorry. The spells that were used in this attack, I go on to sort of just describe the way that they were used. and I say, this tactic, this battle plan, does it seem at all familiar to you?
The attack.
It was a terrible deed, but exceedingly well planned out. And the tactical usage of these scrolls was it was clearly thought out by somebody with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. As someone in charge of the battle mages, I imagine you probably have a decent amount of tactical and strategic experience. What's your take on this particular technique? You recognize it anywhere? Have you seen something similar happen historically?
I have not, no. But there've of course been plans that have been set in motion in the past by other necromancer cults. To my knowledge, killing a large group and then resurrecting them for battle fodder is not unheard of.
I see. Now, just if you could just walk me through what you know of the thefts. I'm hearing it was about 2 weeks ago. Is that correct?
It was, as I told Lucerin, the Kildor made an announcement to all those who have access to the to the scroll room that he was going to be interviewing us to see if we knew of anything. He said that there was a large number of scrolls that had been taken, as well as the logbook had been ripped apart. For the most part, it didn't seem like anyone who had access to the room knew of anything, and, we were put through rigorous questioning. But at the end of the day...
Oliver, if I can jump in
Can
for
I
a
insight check
second.
that last statement?
Sure.
I'll wait on that.
24.
24 to insight?
Mm-hmm.
She is telling the truth about the investigation came up claiming that sorry, there's a bug in here. Claiming that nobody had been found guilty of doing this. But she seems to be questioning the way she seems to be implying that the way the questioning went down wouldn't provide the correct answers.
Which is where I'm going. Oliver, I'm gonna jump in here and ask. When you guys were originally questioned, who did the questioning and who all was involved there?
Well, the questions were led by Lucerin, and you see as he gives a little nod, and then says, "I'm sorry. What was the other part of your question?"
It was just who conducted the interviews.
Lucerin conducted the interviews with a couple of other members of the board of directors, those who wish to be a part of the conversation.
I want to go to cast. I want to make it very obvious. This is already a spell. I asked Lucerin if I could cast before detect thoughts. So I want to make sure that everybody's good here.
Sure.
However, I would like to start by casting detect thoughts on LeFerrin.
Okay.
I would like to start there. I can switch targets.
Okay.
I would like to start there and deceptively start reading Lucerin's thoughts while he's not thinking that I'm doing that. And he thinks I'm focused on her.
Let's see here. I'm just double checking to make sure that shifting it doesn't require a roll. It doesn't seem like it does. Okay.
But I will make whatever deception check or whatever you want for
you're
this
fine.
to go down.
I'm gonna give you, because it is a spell that requires a verbal, somatic, and a material component, I'm gonna have you give me a sleight of hand check here.
Sure. Using my Tides of Chaos roll for today, because that was not good, and I don't like it, and I would like to roll better than that. That's much better. Look at that. Look at that. Sometimes when you have cool things in D&D and you use them, things go better for you. 22.
22. So you detect thoughts on LaFerlin. Instantly, the first information that you get from her is when she says that those of whom were questioned were found innocent. She says in her mind, though it's very easy with leading questions, isn't it? And when you move your detect thoughts over to Lucerin, you see as he sort of sits forward a little bit when LaFerlin looks at him, and in his mind, he goes, "What are you playing at?"
Okay.
Well, ma'am, thank you very much for your time. We do have a few more interviews to get through. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. We may have some more questions a little bit later on. Yes.
Could I ask one quick question?
Yeah.
LaFerlin, that's her name?
Yes.
LaFerlin, do you have any thoughts about who it might have been?
She leans forward and says, "Like I said, all those who had access were cleared."
And then I'm going to look at Pepper for insight on what they've heard in the brains.
That lasts for a minute. Did she think any weird thoughts?
So you aren't focused on her. You're focused on Lucerin right now.
Right. I would like to keep on my man. I'm sorry. I forgot that I did that.
That's yeah.
When you ask that question to LaFerlin, she gives her answer, and you watch as Lucerin leans forward and says, "Keep your mouth shut, you stupid girl, if you know what's good for you." And then when she answers, she says, I'm feeling quite a bit tired from this. I think I might retire. If you have any further questions, could we perhaps postpone this till tomorrow?
That's fine.
That's perfectly fine.
You guys, if you don't mind, I'm going to run to the restroom. And Pepper would like to leave after her, but not go in, and keep an eye on where she's going.
Mm-hmm.
And then go into an actual, little area where no one is. I would like to cast Disguise Self and be one of the students that I saw earlier.
Okay, gotcha. So you take on this form, just a regular sort of looking student, not anything too special that stands out, of course. What do you want to look like? We'll say that.
I simply...
Cool.
Yeah, the sexiest student on campus. I would just like to look not like Pepper, not like anyone from the Fellguard, and a student that could feasibly run up and go talk to a teacher without anybody looking weird or reporting it back in a weird way.
Gotcha. Okay, so you go out into the hall and you watch as LaFerlin walks out. Are you trying to follow her completely or just?
Yeah, I mean, I want to go talk to her, so yeah, I think
Okay.
I'll run up after her. I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah.
as like a little student with a question, praying to God I'm in her class because I have no fucking idea. But I'll go, oh, no, do I not? I hope I'm not calling her by the wrong name here. And I'll go, Professor?
She doesn't respond to this.
Okay. Is she not a professor? Oh no. Ma'am, I have a question.
She turns and looks over her shoulder and sees you and goes, yes?
I have a question. I did something with magic and it's really embarrassing. Can we talk one-on-one?
She looks around and says, don't you have a professor or someone you can speak to about this?
It's an emergency, ma'am.
Right. What?
Hi, my name is Pepper Feist. We were just talking, earlier, and you, in that room, and you were being really weird in there, and I actually was detecting thoughts on, Lutheran, and he was thinking, incredibly threatening, possibly violent thoughts towards you. So I was hoping that maybe you could just, like, tell me what the heck happened there, and I will make sure that, you are protected regardless of what you say to me here.
She goes and leads you over to a almost like a sitting space that's out that faces the like garden area where you saw those other ones casting magic missile. She goes and she like sits down on one of the benches and looks at you and goes, he was thinking threatening thoughts.
Yeah, he called you. I'm sorry that I have to say that he called you stupid girl, and that's insane because you seem like you're probably one of the smartest women, people, honestly, on, the continent.
The higher ups of the Arcane Alliance have always looked down on us battle mages, the defenders. We are maybe not as well versed in the arcane arts as they are, but we can hold our own in a fight. I'm sure that if he were to go toe to toe with me, I would kick his ruddy ass, but I digress. He probably just dislikes me on merit alone. Plus, he is a terrible leader in of itself.
Okay. But why would he have been wanting you to specifically keep your mouth shut? Which is a thing I was thinking.
Because I know that he spends a long time when we were communicating and talking with the others in the during the questioning about the theft. He asked some people, myself included, a lot of detailed questions about our whereabouts, and then some of the others he spent very, very little time interrogating. I know this for a fact.
Who did he spend very little time interrogating?
He spoke with a couple of them by, his favorites. Tordina, Kashar, Nayla. He only spent a little bit of time with them.
Pardon me? Kashar was here until recently?
Yes, he's one of the defenders. He was a battle mage with the Arcane Alliance.
Right. And when exactly, Kashar leave here? Was it right before the funeral?
Well, he was, of course, pulled away because of the funeral, yes.
Right. He was pulled away because of the funeral. This is just an odd question. And Kashar had access to the area?
Of course, all the defenders have access to the scroll room.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Hey, just between you and me, did you like working with Kashar? He's my new boss now. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track, but I don't know about his vibes, and I was wondering if you got a vibe read on him, perhaps, working with him for a lot longer?
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Please work. Not 20.
She leans in and says, he was a competent fighter, quite possibly one of the best I've ever seen. And when it came to magic, he was certainly not someone to underestimate. Though there were plenty of times where we had to ask him to pull back. I mean, well, with his history and all, it's not surprising.
Yeah, what's history? What do you mean?
Well, Kashar used to be part of a clan of orcs, a tribe down in the southern expanse growing up. He was part of the Sunthorns. And their entire tribe was slaughtered by bandits. He was left alone.
Yeah, I can see how that would mess someone up.
I heard that it was because of that he wished to join up with the Fellguard.
Yeah. Do you think he'll make a good new leader of the Fellguard?
If you're looking for someone to exude strength, I don't think you'll find anyone better than Kashar Andrews.
Right. Okay. That's probably what I needed from you. Thank you so much. You were really helpful. And I'm sorry that that guy sucks and he doesn't appreciate you. That's really dumb.
It's fine. I appreciate it. Thank you. Next time, you don't have to hide yourself. You can just walk up. That's fine.
Okay. I didn't know. I wanted to make sure that like if Lucerne I don't know. I don't really know how you guys work with magic, so I didn't know if he could use X-ray vision and follow me to the bathroom that would have wards against X-ray vision. I didn't think this plan through a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I was running on impulse.
It's all right.
So
I'm gonna go. If you need anything else, just call me up.
okay.
She goes.
Thank you so much. Okay. I go back to the room as Pepper.
Okay. You drop the guys and you walk in through the door.
No, I go for the sake of continuity. I go back to the bathroom and then I come out as Pepper.
Okay, fair enough. Come out of the bathroom, you go back into the room where you see Lucerne is sitting there picking at his nails at the desk, and he sees you come in. He glances up ever so slightly and then looks forward at the other three of you who are now chatting with Nayla, this Dragonborn who's sitting in front of you, who doesn't seem to really know too much. And you're finally at your last question with Nayla going, I wasn't even in Basincrest when the attack when the theft happened. So unfortunately, I don't know how much help I can be.
That's entirely understandable. One thing before you go, if I could just get a small handwriting sample from you.
Sure. She grabs a quill and she writes out her name and says, anything else?
No, that should do it. Thank you.
She gets up and you watch as she makes eye contact with Lucerne and then walks out the door.
Lucerne,
yes.
Do you have a way that I could get some a larger swath of handwriting samples from some of the various people that we've been talking to today?
Sure, I can have some servants bring them some parchment and have them scroll up their signatures if you'd like.
Be lovely, thank you.
I'll deliver them to your quarters tonight.
Sounds like a plan.
Wonderful.
Oh, and Xeris, if you don't mind, I know that normally we put you in charge of keeping track of the evidence folder, but I just want to look at those the letters that we seized from the Children of Orcus that have the instructions and everything. I just want to take a look at the handwriting of those letters and compare it against what we have here this evening. So if you wouldn't mind if I kept that in my room tonight.
Yeah, sure thing.
Lucerin, it's been a terribly long day. Would you mind showing us to our quarters?
Of course, if you'd please follow me. He gets up and he leads you throughout the halls of this building and up to essentially some like rather nice like guest rooms. It's clear that these are where most people stay whenever they come in, and they are split up. And unfortunately, you guys are gonna have to double up on rooms in here. So who's betting with who?
I call Voxy. Bye.
All right, Xeris and Oliver, you go to the other one. Pepper and Voxy are in the one adjacent.
I grab Voxy and I go, we don't have to sleep with Robbie.
Yes. Immediately following.
Lucerin shows you the rooms and then says, if you require anything else, just feel free to hit that buzzer there and I'll have a servant come join you.
Right. And just out of curiosity, our two footmen that we brought with us, where are they housed tonight?
They are staying in some of the dormitories downstairs. If you'd like them to be up here, I can go fetch someone to grab them.
Oh, no, that's perfectly fine. I just want to, sometimes it's good to keep track of your underlings. Make sure that they stay under heel.
Of course. You need anything else? Again, the buzzer. Thank you. And he goes and he shuts the door. And it shuts a little bit harder than you think it would normally shut.
All
So
right,
Xeris
time
and
to start planning our ambush.
I do not trust that guy.
Oh, not in the least.
What?
Guys!
What?
Okay, remember when I ran out and went to the bathroom? Well, surprise. I did not go to the bathroom. I simply instead went to talk to the Baron. And actually, can I check around to see if this place is like... Pepper doesn't... Yeah. I don't really know what I'd be looking for exactly, Pepper. But could I just
Magic
smack
bugs?
around, see if I find if I find anything magical, anything that seems weird and off.
Sure. Give me a investigation check.
Can I help with it?
Pretty
Sure.
bad.
I'll give you advantage.
All right. Worse. That's going to be an 8. An 8.
The room seems pretty clear of any sort of thing that could be spying.
Okay, cool. I trust this implicitly.
Can I go check and make sure that Homeboy has left, that he actually walked away and is not listening at the door?
Sure, yeah. You open the door. The
Nor
halls
are there
are vacant.
guards.
Yeah, there's no guards here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know whether or not we should be concerned with staying in this spot tonight or not.
You guys, I went and I talked to Leferdin, when she was not in the room with Lucerin, and she said that he ran investigation shitty because he was really interrogatory on people that, unlike her, the battle mages, he goes down on, but not on his favorites. And guess whose list of favorites included? That's right, Kashar.
What?
Yes, Kashar was here. Remember, he told us that he spent time
Wait.
with the Arcane Alliance. We just didn't know it was right up until now. He left right because of the funeral.
But if that's true, then he knew that we'd find out that information, wouldn't he?
I mean,
It sounds like he was trusting, what's his face, Guy Fieri to.
Lutheran?
Guy
Lucerin?
Fieri was his name. I've only said it 80
Lucerin
times.
Fieri.
Yeah.
Well,
Lutheran, yeah.
It
If
sounds
they're-
like he
if
was
they're-
trusting him to cover.
Well-
If they're in on it together, then of course he would send us here and
Lucerin
control
never
what
brought his
information we were
name
gonna
up.
get.
He literally never brought his name up to any of us. And yes, maybe I am reading too much into it because of recent dealings that we have had with Kashar that did not necessarily paint him in a favorable light. But I do think it's really weird that his name hasn't come up until I talked to someone one-on-one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
don't think you're wrong there.
I don't know about
Especially
anyone
because she
else.
said that he looks down on battle mages like her, but he liked Kashar, who was also a battle
mage. Yeah. Hey, Oliver, we figured out where Roby and what is our dude's name? I can't
Marson?
Marson.
Marson are staying, right?
They're in a dormitory.
Okay. Part of me thinks that we shouldn't stay where Lucerin put us to stay tonight.
Oliver, what was your plan with dropping that last bit?
Well, it was twofold, and
Put a target on our head.
We could. I didn't know that I was going to share a room with you, Xeris. But it was twofold. Part one was to put out the word that we might be in possession of something incriminating, and also to potentially get Lucerin away from his quarters, should it be needed.
Something tells me he's going to
Go
have other
investigate
people do
Lucy's
his dirty
quarters.
work.
Man.
Well,
Wait. So you... Oh, no, I don't have... Damn. I don't have the spell that I thought I had. All right, so are we wanting to stay here, or do we want to go sleep with Roby?
Or do we want to pretend that we're staying here and then stay somewhere else?
I mean, like,
I think
stuff our beds with hay and draw the enemy in here, but really we'll be next door.
I do have one concern, and that is that I'm not sure how effectively we'll be able to sneak around this place without anyone noticing.
That's fair.
Place is crawling with magic, so...
Are our rooms like conjoining? Are they right beside each other?
They're next to each other, but there's not like a door that leads between them. You'd have to go outside into the hall and then back in through the other side.
Well, here's an idea. If we do want to consider staying here, we told Lucerin which rooms we're going to be in, correct? Do you think he would attack both rooms, or would send anyone to attack both rooms, or would just attack the room with Oliver in it?
I don't know.
We could swap places.
Sleepover? Or... Oh, so you want us to go be in the room where we get attacked?
Yeah, wait.
If we were
what
Hold
are we
on.
doing?
Or
No,
we
why
all
not
go.
just have a
Or we
sleepover?
all. Yeah, that's a better idea.
We're just such
That
a
is it,
mean.
but-
You were just
That's
such
been us
a mean
being a
walking
bait?
up to this attack.
Well, we would prepare an ambush, obviously. I'm just
Well-
saying.
See, my thought process was going to be either they attack a room with no one in it and we're able to go in behind them, or they attack both rooms simultaneously and aren't prepared for all four of us being in the same
I don't
space.
think they're okay, guys. I don't know necessarily if they're gonna like fully try to murder the four brand new champions in their own home. That seems like a little wild for them to try to talk their way out of.
That's
Fair.
fair.
But I mean, it does not hurt to be prepared. I just think that maybe
would they
they're a
try to
little
do it
smarter
in-
than that.
Is there anything they can do to us that isn't necessarily harmful? Like
They could cast a spell on us.
physically?
I don't know.
They could
Tank
cast
our
a spell
rep.
on us to make us look like, tank our rep. They could cast a spell that makes it look like we died in our sleep or something, and that they had nothing to do with it. Cover their tracks. We
I
don't know.
mean,
These
if
are
they did
powerful
cover
people.
up them stealing these spells from a room that they seem to be pretty secure on. They can cover up anything.
That's true.
In any case, I think we've all kind of come to a conclusion about what we think is going on here, but we're gonna need proof before we leave, or at the very least before we go back to Dawnspire.
Yeah.
So I guess I was just trying to force their hand.
Yeah.
Try to get it brought to us instead of us having to seek it out.
We could also just see if Lucerin is up for an interview. And I'm going to
Also,
hold up a knife or a dagger.
it might be really helpful to talk to, if we can,
Kildor?
Kilwins?
Kildor. Yeah. It might be helpful to talk to Kildor without other one there. Oh my god, everyone's name has escaped my brain.
Lucerin?
Lucerin there.
Yeah, I was going to suggest at the very
Because
least.
if he was also there
to
for
get him out of the
interviews,
room.
he might have suspects in his brain that he wasn't actually able to follow up with.
Yeah.
Well, his presence at the interviews is keeping them from saying what they actually feel.
That's right. That's why I was trying to block that. But I think his presence is just obviously super powerful, and his like hold on these people is strong. So,
And if, well,
He
do
is
we have
really
the
cool.
authority to tell him to leave the room? If not, can we come up with a way to
why don't we
have
just go
something that's
find?
more important that he could be dealing with?
Well, he's dealing with Oliver's thing right now. At least we could go find Kildor, and just go find his quarters and just go knock on his door and just knock knock. Let's chat.
It's not the worst idea. Do we have free reign to roam the halls?
I mean, they didn't tell
Or-
us we couldn't, so
No
That's-
guards. We're also, guys, we're champions of the Fellguard. I think we have a little bit more authority than we're giving ourselves credit for.
I just keep
that's so
forgetting that.
true. There's no
Wish-
RA on staff for us.
We don't have to sneak out of the balcony. We can go right out the door.
Yeah.
Um,
So what's everybody's vote for
uh,
next play?
If he's coming here or sending someone here expecting to deliver something to me, then that sets a time limit on how long we'd have to do anything tonight. Now, the options that, as I see them, are either you guys go without me, or we start with our plan that we had of the four of us camping in here and listening to see if anybody breaks into the room next door, and then follow through on trying to separate Kildor from Lucerin tomorrow.
I think tomorrow, what we can try is tomorrow, if we still want to get with Kildor, then why don't we tell Lucian that we're like, Lucian, we've got it. We're on to him. It's Kildor. Let us one-on-one with him because you're so scary that he probably is like he's probably like too afraid to stay in front of you, but he might slip in front of just us. Like something like that, you know? Where and then in the room it's like, you know, the 180 of the situation.
Yeah, well, yeah, because if we play to the fact that we aren't suspicious of him, because we can't let on that we are suspicious of him.
Mm-hmm.
We trust him implicitly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like that
this
plan.
And if that doesn't work, he can't stay with all four of us if all four of us are not together. So maybe we do a repeat of the Pepper goes to the bathroom plan if this doesn't work.
I love this plan. It's really fun. Maybe I'll actually learn a student's name tomorrow. That would help immensely.
That would be very helpful.
Maybe I'll learn who's actually a professor. Because, guys, I figured out she's not a professor.
She's a
Huh.
cop.
More like a
crazy.
mercenary than anything, but a sellsword,
I
if you
thought-
will.
I thought everyone on a school automatically had to be a professor. I do not know. I did not attend one. So I thought all adults were simply professors and that anyone that looks not like an adult was a school child.
It's a fair assumption.
All right. So, are we?
Well,
we're going to bed then.
For a magic school.
Yeah,
I think
I'll take.
we're all sleeping over in the room that we said Voxy and Pepper are going to be in.
Okay.
Are we
Yeah.
all sleeping over there?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm
Sure.
just gonna strew some random papers on the bedspread back in me and Xeris's room, and then come back over. I'll take first watch. This was my idea. You guys get some rest.
Yeah, I think one of us has to stay awake not all night, but we can swap out so that we're always aware what's going on.
Hey, it's just like the Wyvern. We camp, and we keep watch over each other.
Except during that, again for the third time, I watched Pepper die. So
I was in a tree.
This is not
Listen,
like the Wyvern. Can we just
we've
pretend
been
this is
camping
not
dozens of times.
okay?
I
Then
just
why did
picked
you?
one that was in my head?
Why did you pick
He
the
is-
one that is most traumatic?
Steve, you
That's
can't.
kind of the
Pierce is-
thing I've been doing lately.
That's
Pierce has
fair.
finally admitted that he loves me. You can't. He'd be even more ruined now if I were to die in front of him.
Because I can't bring it back. Absolutely.
Exactly.
All right. So everybody
All right.
grabs their stuff and turns in, sleeping on. I assume Pepper, Voxy are on the bed. Xeris is on the couch that's in here. Oliver, you get set up at like a little desk, basically seated at a chair. Just sitting
I don't
there.
suppose the walls are made of stone, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't take a knife and burrow a little hole in the wall.
No, unfortunately not.
I quite literally just sit there with my ear up against the wall. Then Get a cup.
Pepper and Voxy, you two fall asleep fairly quick. Xeris, you do the same after about an hour or so. Oliver, you are sitting there, and for just a brief moment, you realize that it is, you're still wearing some of the armor and stuff that you had. Do you take any of it off, or do you keep all of your stuff on?
I think I keep it on, including like the spear and the shield. I've probably
Spear
some
and
of
the
them in my little
shield?
desk, but I
Okay.
think
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm just gonna keep it on until it's not my turn anymore. Like once
Fair
I'm
enough.
off duty, then I'll take it off or take
Gotcha.
off some of it.
You go to put your leg up on the desk, leaning back in your chair a little bit. In doing so, you knock a couple papers off the desk. And as that happens, one of the papers falls and drifts around, and you watch as in midair it stops and then falls down onto the ground.
That's not normal. Whose papers are these? What room are we in?
You're in Pepper, Voxy's room, etc.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
Oh.
whose papers are these?
They were just things that are in this space. It's a guest room. They've got like things on the desk, that kind of thing.
Oh, well,
Parchment.
that's super weird. I want to look at that paper.
It's not, the paper
Why do you do
is
that?
fair. You go over to the paper. It's just normal paper. Think of it as like it's got a parchment with a letterhead for the Arcane Alliance.
All right, so based on the faces of the other players, I think that everybody's getting something that Zeb's not getting. Can Oliver make? Can Oliver?
I have
make a
no idea.
check
I'm
so
just
Oliver
nervous.
gets it?
Yeah, sure. Give me an
I don't know.
Arcana
I'm just
check.
nervous.
I have an idea. I don't know if I'm right. I mean, like,
Ooh, okay. That is a 25.
You look out in the darkness of this room, the faint light that's still in here, and right where the paper had hit nothing, the light shimmers around itself, and phasing out of existence for just a brief moment is an eyeball. And then it vanishes.
I would like to I want to kick it as hard as I can.
We will kick the eye on our next episode. Because, folks, we are finished with episode 6 of the Fellguard Season 2. What's gonna happen next week? Is Oliver gonna kick this eye real good? Will the group realize that maybe they should do more checks inside of their places that they go hide in before they talk about their whole plan? Who knows?
I have a 9 intelligence. Okay, I did what I thought I had to
tried
do.
You
Do
did.
you want us to all do a check every time? 'Cause we can.
Certainly not. All
I
right,
thought
folks.
we covered it.
We do this every single week starting at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. If you enjoyed any part of what you saw, please give us a follow. If you'd like to help out more, please give us a subscription. We love it so much. It does so much to help us small streamers like ourselves. We are the Fellguard. We are also Pineapple-Shaped Lamps. We do this constantly. Please check out our Discord where we chat about the game as well as other things that are going on, like all the Nintendo stuff that just happened recently. Wow, that was insane. But anyways, folks, I will leave you with this wonderful thing. Please remember, always check your rooms for hidden eyes. All right, good night.